Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Quantum series. My name is Nobi. I'm joined here by the goat. Oh my goodness, I have a co-caster today. It's amazing. I love it.
Hello. What's up, buddy? Hey, man.
What's
How you
going on,
doing?
man? I'm doing just fine.
Oh my
We've got
god,
an
dude.
exciting one here, Captain. I absolutely can't wait. This one's going to be really, really good. Just given the momentum that both these teams have. We are in round two of the upper bracket. We've got Nerve Esports Onyx versus Pigpen. I mean, this one, of course, Pigpen has been really, really good. They are objectively kind of like have the highest ranked players here in the tournament.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
Onyx, I mean, damn, have they had they've had a good run.
They've
Of
had a
course,
wonderful run, and they've got
yeah,
momentum on their side as well too, Nobi. Like I think if anything, this is Onyx's game to win today. I think they got the momentum behind them, they got the players, and obviously they are the underdogs. All things considered here against Pigpen, I think this is something they could pull off.
100%. Yeah, they're in a situation where I feel like they kind of need to just make sure. And I was gonna kind of get into this. The win condition here for both of these teams, it's gonna come down to the mechanics, right? Just
Absolutely.
both these teams have the momentum. They're in the uppers. They have that kind of buffer. If one of them gets not like whoever loses, they got knocked down to the lower. So they know they're not out of the tournament or anything like that. There's not that kind of pressure. But there's certainly still the pressure of
Y-
momentum. Of course,
Yeah.
like they need a guy, they need a guy to
Yeah.
step up.
Absolutely, and it really is just gonna like come down to who is feeling the best today, right? Who is shooting the best? Who's feeling the most confident? Who's willing to take those really awkward fights and win them, and really make the other team uncomfortable? And I'm excited to see which players from each team really step up to the occasion and show us why they deserve to be up here, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I think again, and this is kind of part of the reason why I expect this one to be a bit of a barn burner. It's just because these teams, we know that they're capable, and ultimately that's kind of like the important factor here, right? That's what's ultimately
Totally,
gonna make both these, but like they know,
totally.
both teams know that it could go either way, and that's what's gonna make it entertaining. So I absolutely can't wait for that. Pigpen was, I mean, they were dominant in their previous match the other day. You can see over Dragonstorm Battle Clan. Nerve Onyx was dominant over Vengeance Esports in the previous match as well. So, they have a lot going for them.
Totally, and these are two of the higher ranked teams in this tournament as well too. And so now that they've kind of like worked their way through kind of like the lower ranks and like kind of like the easier matches for say, I think for both teams this is both of their first really big challenges, right? To see that big hurdle and have to work together to get over it, to advance into the semifinals and the upper finals, right? Because if you drop down to lower, then that kind of safety net falls out from underneath you, and
Right.
all of a sudden you got more nerves are flying higher. You're not maybe playing the same because you're a little more scared, right? And so I think having this kind of advantage up this early in the playoffs is super helpful because if you lose in your semifinals and upper, you just go to the lower final, man, and then you're good.
Right. And even then, like, of course, the team that you're facing has been grinding out in the lower bracket like for
Hmm.
longer. And so you've still, I'm sure to an extent they will still have the confidence that they can continue on and
Totally.
of course they'll be wanting a rematch. So it's gonna be interesting, right? Players
Absolutely.
to watch too, though, Captain. We mentioned earlier off broadcast, we mentioned Glare on Pigpen and how
Absolutely.
you thought it was the Glare show the last time that we saw them, and it was interesting. So how did exactly what do you think about that matchup?
Yeah, every time that I watch Pigpen, Glare to me always feels like the most confident person in the server. He always feels like the most ready, the most capable, and the most ballsy at times, I would say. Like he takes some really weird fights and it always goes in his favor. And I don't know if that's just like luck or copium or it's just skill, but every single time it's like they're not even expecting him, but they're expecting him. You know what I'm saying? Like they're waiting for him, but he swings and he's just better. One taps him and then they're just dead. And it's something to definitely look out for. But on the flip side, for Nerve, Lyra, obviously one of the better players on that team as well too, along with Umbra. Both have been shooting really well, especially in their previous games. What do you think about them? What do you got to say about them?
Lyra, honestly, I absolutely can't wait to see. I've seen Nerve Onyx before. I know the players, to an extent, but I mean, 100% Lyra's one player to watch out for.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be kind of curious to see how the battle goes between two players that we know kind of to be good, right? So I 100% can't wait to see that. Let's go ahead and get into the maps though. We've got Split coming up, so that's going to be our first one. That's Pigpen's pick. Pigpen is actually starting out on defense for every single map, so that's going to be interesting. So yeah, you have of course here Onyx picks attack on the first map, Pigpen picks defense on the second of Sunset. Then we're closing out on Haven with Pigpen, like I said, on defense. And I mean, ultimately, what do you think about that pool?
Yeah, I think personally for me, I have definitely seen Pigpen play really, really well on Haven previously in their other two matches. So I think Haven is a really good decider map for them. If they can't get one of these first two knocked out early, they have that safety net of Haven. They know their Haven is really strong, really consistent, and that's where Glare really likes to show out. Like when I was thinking earlier about things that Glare has done beforehand, all my thoughts went immediately to his Haven play and just how he swings and how he takes his fights. Super awesome and super commanding in the server as well too. But I have not seen neither team on Split or Sunset, I believe. So I'm really excited to kind of see like what they have to offer, what the IGLs bring and cook up as well too, right? Because at the end of the day, like when you have two powerhouses, I think the IGLs do have a huge factor in outplaying one another and really finding those holes and abusing them.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's about. Well, especially on maps like Haven, you mentioned it right. Like
Right.
with it being a three-site map, you gotta like the defender's job really was ultimately kind of to spread out enough to where they can cover the holes. Right. That's why a sentinel is so
Mm-hmm.
important on that map.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because of the fact that you need that util to hold down those chokes and all the little holes because there are inherently more of them. Right. And so
Totally.
that's kind of the difficulty on defense. That's part of the game, right? But maybe we're getting a little bit of ahead of ourselves. We've got Split in the cards here first, two-site map, and it's very, very different. Of
Yeah,
course, it's a map that's back in the pool after the
totally.
newest act, and so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the flip side, we got Split, a much smaller map compared to Haven, and a lot easier for that defense to kind of like really take control of the map, if that makes sense. So excited to see what teams bring out and what comps we're gonna see as well too. But looks like we're getting ready to head over right into Agent Select here as we
Yeah.
finally get ready for Map One. Nobi, I'm excited, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. I'm 100% ready. And here we go right into the agent select Pigpen hopping on the V. Actually, both teams hopping right on the veto.
Yeah, there we
New
go.
agent. I'm
Okay,
excited to see how that goes. I feel like we've been seeing a decent amount of veto in this tournament, and honestly, from a
totally.
lot of different people or different
Which,
teams rather. So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
it does surprise me because I feel like personally, veto isn't necessarily as strong as people make him out to be. I think if you have a good veto player, like they're good at taking those early initiative fights and getting out right, setting themselves up for success, but also stalling long enough to have those rotates come over and help out. Like exactly with the E ability from veto, he just shoots all utility coming through, all projectiles, and makes it so there's nothing to worry about. You can just focus on your crosshair. And I think at the end of the day, like that's going to help really like elevate either team to take those one-on-ones and take those fights and just powerhouse their way through the site.
Right, 100%. And I saw a Phoenix hover there and I was a little bit afraid, but
Oh, oh no.
but Zach ends up locking in
We're
race.
good,
Thank
we're
goodness.
good.
I was definitely afraid of that. But speaking of other agents that we've been seeing a lot more of lately in the meta, it's Waylay. I've been seeing so much
Yes.
Waylay lately, and it's been
Yes.
interesting.
I think DRX, especially from champs and their deep run at champs, has really made teams more aware that Waylay is useful. You just have to have a team around Waylay. You have to have support. You have to give that agent the ability to get in and get out with support. Because if not, they're just a walking decoy and they can get really left alone and really isolated super easily because of how quick they are.
Right. Yeah, and it ultimately comes down to, I guess, I guess it speaks to how confident these teams ultimately are on Waylay. That's exciting, right? Like
Oh
I
yeah,
can't wait to see
absolutely.
that.
I'm excited. I really hope we see some fun little combo plays, especially with that Sky and that Waylay. The Sky Flash combined with that Waylay Dash can be absolutely lethal if you have a Sky that knows where to throw that flash, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, I will say that the initiators get, despite the fact that they were nerfed into the ground,
Rip the initiator roll, man.
like
Oh
for real,
no.
seriously, like that whole roll is just 100% in the ground. But here we go, about to get right into the action. First round of Pigpen versus Nerve Onyx. Here we go. And looks like Onyx is just going to start out towards mid right now, trying to establish control of that and see that Ender and company looking to push up here. But you can also see these two players. You see Umbra and you see Bonky just on the extremities on the other side. Excellent stun, but is going to refract. And Zek finds an early kill over in mid. That's exactly what they wanted. And now that they have numbers, they also have the freedom to back right off.
Yeah, that was a beautiful mid fight there, Nobi. I think that was really well played, especially seeing that Sky and Waylay combo right into that flash, and you saw that TP right out.
Yeah. And they knew that one was all they needed. That's kind of ultimately what it comes down to. These little advantages end up being so huge. Trade coming out there from Glare, but that spike is coming down, and it's a 4v2 retake now for Pigpen.
Yeah, Pigpen have got the advantage here. Look at how deep this Vito's playing. He's watching this walk up for his team and allows his team just to focus back towards that screen area, but Glare rise to it, catches Bonky. Oh my goodness. He's just all-knowing.
Gotta be kidding me. The awareness right there was just excellent, but I mean, it's not really a whole lot left for Glare to do. It's unfortunate. We talked about him, but I mean, like, look, you know, I don't know. That one's a little bit rough. I don't know many players who can come out on top in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, you walk through the smoke and you get spammed for almost all your HP before you even see anybody else. Like, that's just unlucky, man.
Yeah.
But I did like what we saw out of Pigpen there, taking that early mid fight, because on Split, this is a map where this mid space is super important. This map is called Split for a reason, because it's so easy to split the sites through that mid area.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I'm kind of impressed with, especially in this first round, was just their default, right? Just in general, they had those three players up mid, they got the one, they knew that they didn't have to overheat, that they shouldn't overheat, and they didn't. And that's really important there. Peak though coming out here at Vents, and what in the world is going on? Ender just sitting there, grabs one, but is instantly traded out, and somehow this has gone the way of Pigpen. They find themselves up numbers here in the anti-eco.
Oh, that was very messy, but really well played from the defense side there, Nerve. Just taking that advantage and also catching Bonky again as well, too. And now Umbra just left in a 1v3 wondering what the hell just happened to my team in mid. All he's got is a ghost, Nobi. What do you do in this situation?
Not much to do. I really don't think there's a whole lot. You've literally just got a ghost. The best thing that Umbra can do here is just try to grab a gun, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Finds one, can't get the second, and as soon as Onyx claimed the first round, Pigpen answer back in kind.
Wow. That is very impressive. That is beautiful teamwork again as well too. Comboing that breach flash, the stun, and that aftershock as well too, to really pressure them in and just separate all of Nerve. So well played. That was beautiful teamwork there.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the other thing too. I think Pigpen kind of read the fact that Nerve Onyx were just gonna decide to push up mid again. They put up, like, they saw the Sky Dog, right? And they ended up kind of dedicating more players towards that one choke, and it worked out in their favor. They just literally relied on their aim, and I think I saw like a double classic headshot or something like that. So
double dink with it, especially on that mid fight, is super lethal with how close it is.
Right. Here we go. What a shot.
As soon as that Viper wall comes up too, man, that is beautiful.
Absolutely. Flash comes out, spam through the wall, doesn't really get a tag, and looks like Pigpen are just gonna go ahead and try to stop these players. Spam through the box, gets a decent amount of health off, but player just sitting in the smoke, and Lyra finds White Tiger.
Last player standing.
And what a shot. Zach peeking out, grabbing the second all around, and Pigpen find themselves up here after that anti-eco. And that's such a good one. I can't even stop talking about it. That was so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, right? Zach and Glare both playing super well for both their teams. 5-1 for Zach and 5-3 for Glare on the breach. I mean, anytime your breach is second fragging, like that's how you know your team's having a good day. If your support players fragging as well too, man, you got all the confidence in the world. You got everything's going right for you, right?
Right. 100%. And as good as Onyx are at defaulting, if you're better at reading, I mean, ultimately, I personally think you're just going to come out on top pretty much every single time. It's part of what the game is about, right? Yeah, I mean, like, look at this. Excellent stun. And the paint shells are devastating. It's a second, and it all comes crumbling down for Onyx. 2v1, but what in the world? White Tiger is finally saving it with the off.
Ender almost just flipped that on its head, Nobi. What the hell?
What in the world? These players are so back and forth.
Yeah, these teams are just exchanging blow for blow here. Ender almost able to recover the round for his team, getting the 3 immediately through mid. But oh my god, what a beautiful team fight from Pigpen there. Their teamwork is looking really sharp today, Nobi.
Yeah, 100%. Sharp is right. I mean, I think that honestly, these players are, they're in a situation where they know kind of how bad they want to continue on in this upper bracket, right? Both teams have the momentum, but of course confidence is another factor, right? And part of the appeal of the tournament in general is the mental game, right? That both of these teams have to play. But no way, Rolling Thunder comes out aftershock as well. The dash in there, and no way, Showstopper goes wide. 3v4 now. And the retake in effect with the snake bite doesn't get a whole lot of value. Trailblazer does though. Monkey finds another, finds a third, goes right over into heaven, and Onyx start to stabilize here. I mean,
oh my gosh, Nobi, as soon as I say these teams are sharp, right, you just see the nerves kind of coming out there. That Showstopper going haywire there. That breach ult missing the Astra up close and almost getting punished, and then a team flash coming out on the retake as well too from the defense. It's just you can just tell both these teams want it so bad, and their minds are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But Nerve able to keep it together there and really hold it together, right?
Yeah. 100%. And like I had said earlier, it's good on them to be able to kind of hold this here. These breach stuns are just so damn good. Trade is there somehow, and now it's a 4v4 situation. So early presence on A for Onyx. A lot of early noise, but looks like they're just gonna cut it, at least for now, and try to explore different areas of the map. But there's really no control for Onyx anywhere at the moment. Honestly, these players on Pigpen could be anywhere, and they don't necessarily know that.
Yeah, and I like how Pigpen is using this veto as well. It's using that trip in mid to kind of be that like 6th man essentially. And just like that, it gets them the info as they kind of walk across it in mid. Now the rotates are going to start coming over, Nobi. All 100%. Of Pigpen rotating over slowly as they realize that mid is completely open now. And now Vito's in a really, really awkward position. Umbreon just sitting back sight. But
100%. And look at these players. They might actually, we might see a fight over in heaven. Yeah, they're going to try to take it. And I think Zach is just going to try to peek out, get information with that boom bot.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, now, good call from the Vito to call his team back over to A as well too here.
Yeah, and the Cosmic Divide coming out as well, but Zach just sitting in the choke in CT, defending it with his life. The paint shells are going to force them off the angle. Not a whole lot of time left, but it doesn't matter. Bucky gets the kill and somehow is on 4 kills. What in the world is happening? 33 HP in a dream, but absolutely nothing left. You have got to be kidding me.
What is happening, Nobi?
Unbelievable.
These teams are just going at it, throwing punches left and right. What the hell, Bonky?
1 second,
he just sat there towards that A and waited for those rotates to go over. He knows that Pigpen is just really antsy, and they know that they have that info mid, right? He can sit there and lurk up, and he catches 4 of them. Oh my god, that is unlucky. Beautifully played from Bonky, though.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's the other thing, too. I think they're aware of the fact that they're very, very good at kind of just making noise one place and kind of distracting Pigpen.
Totally, yeah. They're
Like
really good
literally
at
like a
focusing
moth
on
to
it,
a
right?
flame. Like it's insane. That's exactly what we just saw. Insane. Spam coming out here, and they're just gonna speed right over onto A. That spike is coming down, and there's not a damn thing that Pigpen can do about it, at least not at the moment. Lyra finds Umbreon. Pick from Zach over in CT. I don't think they know where Ender is, though. And Bonky just ready and waiting for the flank. Zek with one. The retake coming out here now. It's falling apart. Glare, the last one to stand, and cannot get it done. And I mean, they held that steadfast.
Absolutely. And to be fair, Pigpen is on an eco on that round. They were on straight shares. They got one kill, right? But like Nerve, they're so locked in. They're feeling confident, and they're not making any mistakes, especially on that round right there, giving up any unnecessary deaths, any unnecessary rifles as well too, really ensuring that round. And Bonky, he knows that they like to flank. He knows that they're just going to keep testing it, especially on that veto. He's not as strong on the flank, holding that space there. And he knows you just can punish him. Catches White Tiger on that rotate as well too.
Yeah. I mean, now all of a sudden, Onyx find themselves up here, despite the rocky start, and that's putting it lightly.
Yeah.
That's
Nobi,
putting it
both
lightly.
teams they're just approaching this 3 rounds so much slower, right? They're both respect. You can see the respect start to boil up for both these teams as well too, as they don't want to give the edge. But as I say that, White Tiger
What
swings
is
catches
that?
Umbra with the breach stun from hell. Oh my god.
I mean, that's insane, but somehow the refrag is there. Zek finds White Tiger through the wall. That is absolutely diabolical. And the paint shells come out too. It's going to force these players back. Delay is out. But look at this. Look up through mid. Bonky has it. No one's aware whatsoever. And the peak comes out. Umbreon finally takes him out and actually gets a second in the process. So all of a sudden, Pigpen, they find themselves up here. Not anymore, though. Not anymore.
Caster curse, man. Caster curse.
Oh no, Trailblazer comes out, but the stun is there, and we could see a peek. Umbreon, though! Cosmetic stun! No way, and the spam through the box. There's no way! No way, Enter! Absolutely insane! You have got to be kidding me! Ender spamming through the box there, somehow landing the headshot. Insane.
He was so low, Nobi. That Clove Decay hit him perfectly. He was 1 HP the whole time.
Oh my goodness. And these are exactly the kinds of heroics that we talked about before the game, right? Having that guy, or really just having the entire team, like being able to step up, that is, I mean, that's what's going to win you games.
I mean, at this point, each player, who's up next, right? Take your turn, fellas. Save the round, save the game for us. Take your time, though. You know, we've got a whole 3 maps potentially to go through to get to this. And now we're seeing that slow approach again, Nobi. Just both teams feeling it out. However, Nerve really favoring taking this A space. They feel like they found a hole and a weakness on this A, especially this ramp area here. But both teams just kind of playing chicken, just kind of seeing who peeks first, who throws what. We're seeing a real big lack of utility across the map as well, too. And as I say that, Astra Star goes down in mid to help kind of put some more pressure, but Pigpen's not going to fall for it. They know that that mid's not being touched at all.
Not at the moment, at least, though. That's a great shot from White Tiger there to start. But somehow, again, the refrag is just so damn fast from Onyx.
Gosh.
And now that's going to allow these players, it's going to allow players like Bonky to kind of just push up a little bit more, explore different areas of the map like mid. And it's going to also force some of these players on Pigpen to kind of pick up these holes.
Yeah, we're going to see Goblin's going to start throwing some smokes down as they kind of feel that pressure towards A still. But as I say that, Waylay's going to start stomping in mid with the Sky Flash as well, too. Lyra going to push to the smoke, toss that volley, and dash through. Bonky gets the pick, but Goblin pops the Clovolt, able to get away safely. Still has his life as he's sitting here in heaven waiting for his time to strike as he jumps out of heaven, falls down, gets fully blinded. Zek in heaven gets one.
Oh, insane. And I don't think there's any time left. There's no time. None whatsoever. I don't think so. Yeah, none left. And it's so unfortunate.
Oh, Glare played that perfectly. He just knew. All he has to do is live and they win the round. What is happening? These teams are just trading left and right. No pick comes for free for either team here.
BYB fam. Going to Astro to
100%.
do
I mean,
them
that
Astro
right
Guardian
there,
things I do.
yeah, that was impressive. I genuinely do think that kind of playing a little bit slower to start out has been the hallmark for Onyx, right? They're
Checking
really
the
leaning
situation.
into this kind of defaulty style,
Yeah,
forcing Pigpen to ask
absolutely.
questions.
Yeah, force them to explore as well too, right? And put their bodies in the line and face check these things or use some utility, right? But as we say that, now we're looking at a defensive switch up here, Nobi, favoring this mid space as they know that Onyx just loves to re-explore through this mid. So if they can hold that A space with just that jet angle, they can most likely punish them here in mid.
100%. And this is a dangerous game that Goblin's playing right now. These
Yes,
players
it
are
is.
so damn good. And you know, Showstopper comes out and it goes wide again. The judge in play. Paint shells as well, and it gets smoked off. So Bonky is pretty much just going to get out scot-free.
Oh my gosh, and that has got to be so frustrating if you're Zach. That's two. Is that two showstoppers that have gone haywire for him this game so far?
Right?
I
mean,
that is just so frustrating if you're the duelist. Oh my goodness. But now look, both teams coming to a standstill. Goblin falls in mid, and now Onyx looking to just re-explore this A space and come back as Pigpen is just kind of playing a little bit floaty here. Sitting up for a 2-2, and maybe we're going to see the Sky. The ult come out from Zek as well too, along with the flash, and the X2 is going to happen, Nobi.
yeah, there we go. So Exec goes through, and now all of a sudden there's no smoke. So these players in heaven are just kind of left to not really be able to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Cosmic Divide is there, waiting for these players to come through, dodging the flash, doesn't actually find anything. As a matter of fact, Pigpen find themselves up in the situation. The pit is out, and the judge is there too, but these players are so damn good at training, it doesn't even matter. Spray comes through, spots out a player. Ender falling. Umbra, the last one to stand, and then here goes the pit. 1 HP, and Bonky finds it and closes it out. Nerve Onyx find themselves at 6, guaranteeing themselves at least a tie coming into the next half.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful round, but a very expensive round from Nerve as they used almost, I think, 3 or 4 ults that round to secure it. They used the Sky ult, the Viper ult, the Asher ult, along with that Vito ult as well too. But it might have been a good decision because now Pigpen's economy is just in the dumps. We're seeing a Bucky and and just Sheriffs coming out. This is a very, very heavy round for Onyx to win. If they can win this, that'll just guarantee them the half almost.
I mean, I really do think these players on Pigpen would do well to try to take a little bit more map space with, not necessarily just with util, but with their own bodies and kind of fight these players that are isolated, right? Like literally Bonky has been playing in mid for this entire half.
Yeah, he's just been sat in ramen just gathering all that info for his team, right? And I think Pigpen are just respecting Onyx a little too much. I think they're scared, right? They're scared to lose those early fights, and they're scared to go down early in the round, especially when you're on this defense half and it's super easy to rotate. Oh my goodness.
Wait, Zach, what a play to catch Umbra out there. Spams through the box with the paint shells right next to it. So it literally forces Umbra out, but it didn't even matter because Umbra stepped out into the paint shells.
Yeah, and now as you see, like Pigpen, they're starting to get more active, right? They're re-clearing that space again as well too. But as I say that, they fall back off, and Onyx, hearing that,
30
look
seconds
to
left.
re-clear it again and re-explore this area maybe.
Right.
And it's the perfect call from the IGL as the A side is completely wide open.
Oh my! Wait.
The lair catches Bonky in mid though through the lurk, and now it's a 4v or 3v5. Excuse me.
Yeah, and that's a huge pick to get. Rolling Thunder comes out!
Oh
Lyra! What is that? Finds 3 over in heaven. And it's a 2v2 now. Headshot with the Sheriff.
Player standing.
It will not happen. 4 on the round. 1 found. Second one not there. And Lyra with an ace.
Oh my
No
god, no
way.
way.
Round before the
Lyra
switch.
just positioned themselves
You're not spending
perfectly
your
that
cash.
round, catching 3 of them coming out of heaven, all looking the complete opposite way. He's untouched by the breach ults, and it's just so free for him.
Right. And that Rolling Thunder gave them way too much confidence, right? I mean, like, they were so prepared for the retake, but Breach, like, you gotta remember, Breach got nerfed. That Rolling Thunder doesn't
come
reach
back
as
from
far
this.
as it did before. And so now, off the back of that, literally, Lyra was just able to get 3. I'm pretty sure it was like a triple collat. So that is huge. And pretty much for the
Look at the
first time
call.
we've seen all half, they look to go towards B now.
Yeah, this is the first time they're exploring this B side. I think this whole entire
Oh,
half
no.
has been an A hit, but
Yeah, city
Umbreon in a
utility.
pretty advantaged position here. Might get caught out, but catches Bonky and Lyra. Ender gets the trade on him, and now all of a sudden, Ender's all alone on the side with the bomb, Nobi.
And that was definitely an ambitious TP from Bonky. I will not lie to you. There really wasn't much util to back off that TP, to back up that TP. And if there was, it probably would have been a different story. But I mean, of course, Umbreon ended up getting 2 before finally falling. But look at that lurk. Umbra finds 1 over in CT. Zek finds another. What a shot! Oh my goodness! And the spam comes out over in hell. Zach literally at 1 health. Barely any HP left to do anything, and Umbra finds it. And Nerve Onyx find themselves up 4 at the half.
Switching sides.
Oh my goodness, that was so well played. I thought for sure that Pigpen had the advantage there, getting those 2 early picks onto B, and then just seeing how spread out Onyx was. Astra just left in that smoke on site, Viper kind of coming from the flank, and then still have one sitting garage still. Like, you would think that that's Pigpen's round to win all day, every day, right? They have the advantage, they have the ones. Like, what went wrong for them, Nobi?
Yeah, I mean, like, I ultimately think the entire half, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, was the lack of map control. And not, again, like, they did a decent job using utility, but the real issue that I'm seeing personally is just, like, fighting up, right? I mean, you've certainly got the skill to back it up. You've got the utility to back it up. You use that breach, you know? That would be huge. White Tiger, though, finds 1 early, but we could see something interesting coming out of the smoke over here from Bonky. Could try to catch a timing, and I think that's exactly what he's looking to do. But Ender peeking out of the smoke in main and landing that flick. It doesn't seem to matter all that much. 3v2 situation. Refract coming out, though. Lyra not having a whole lot of health left to spare, but
Slowing them down.
of course, it's a situation where that heal
Planted.
ends up being
Luckily, he's got a good
so
friend for him,
useful.
you know?
Exactly. You've got a friend in me.
And just like Woody and Buzz, Lyra and Zek are going to look to just duo this out and win this 2v3 on the retake here, but they're running out of time slowly but surely. They're getting stalled really hard.
Yeah, this one's rough, and we could see a peek out the smoke here. Yeah, it fades, and they look to get something. Nothing found, and the trades are just so good from Pigpen. They find a pistol, and ay.
Yeah, you see like that. You just see that game style change, right? Pigpen, they love to just aggress. They're super fast. They're super in your face. They will go 4-5 man peek something just because they can, right? And just because they know that if you get one of them, oh well, there's 4 more behind them that you can get the trade with, right? And I think that's the style we're gonna see on this attack side. Difference from Onyx. Onyx very default heavy, very slow, very easy in the round. But Pigpen, they're just gonna brute force their way into every site they want.
100%, and I think ultimately that's the way to play here. They're playing double duelist plus clove plus breach. If you're not playing aggressive or up in some sort of way, you're gonna be at a massive disadvantage.
Yeah, and you're not using that comp to its full ability as well too. As I say that, what is happening on site? White Tiger getting 2.
No way, and Goblin not having a whole lot of health left. What is going on? No, Bucky. No, there's no way. It's a travesty.
Last player
Somehow
standing.
gets 1. Trade is virtually instant. And that was rough. That was certainly rough. I won't lie.
Oh my goodness.
Umbra
Goblin lived for too long, Nobi. Lived for way too long.
That was diabolical. But now Umbra 1v2 situation here. Honestly, a lot more doable than you'd initially think. White Tiger on that pixel angle and finds the kill at 14 HP. Pigpen 6-8, but honestly not that bad of a round, all things considered, for Onyx, right? They get 3 guns off. They're only 2 to survive, but and now coming into this bonus round, this is, kind of sets them up a little bit better.
Totally, yeah, and they're also going to get that op on land, it looks like, from Bonky, just glass canning it in mid, and this might be a wonderful call, considering that Pigpen looks to be 5-stacking towards this mid area. He might be able to get one, even if he can sit out that breach stun.
Right. Exactly, and a lot more aggression. This is, oh no, another third round op that we've seen. That's like, we saw that on the flip side, right? Saw Pigpen doing that earlier in the game on round 3. Now, of course, Bonky giving him a taste of their own medicine here on that op, and they find themselves down numbers quick. Zek with another one. So now things are getting a little bit more dire, and here we go. Shorty in the face, and Glare, the last one to stand over in main.
Yeah, that was really well played, I think, from Onyx there. They knew that after that mid pick, they literally can just wait to sandwich and collapse, right? They can wait to really punish those duelists that are going to be pushing up. And they did that like effortlessly, flawlessly, almost not taking any damage, and minus the Viper. Very well played.
100%. And of course, Glare now just, not a whole lot that he can do.
Just move on.
Not all, put the fries in the bag.
Yes, please. Let's move on, fellas. We got another map to get to, right?
There we go. All right, well.
Oh man. Well, I think that Pigpen still, like, that round, you can see the aggression, right? You can see like how aggressive their playstyle is and how in their face they are. And eventually they're gonna find the hole, and they're gonna find the crack that Onyx is showing. And they're just gonna keep pressuring it. That is what they've done to every single team beforehand. They find the hole and they just keep putting pressure on it and keep making that team focus on it, right?
100%. And oh my god, what a dash up, and the stun combo was huge. Zek is just, they've got their boys back. So somehow this has gone in favor of Onyx. I don't know how, because that was such a good stun combo and dash combo. But yeah, I mean, these players, they are so ready.
And look at this aggression here. Zek might get caught out here.
Oh no.
Yep, he gets spammed with the box. Oh my gosh, that is a beautiful kill from Umbreon, and much needed. Now it's a 2v2, Nobi, and they have all the time in the world to move, do anything, but they just catch. Oh!
One enemy remaining.
I don't know how in the world Umbra even got one there. And now it's a 1v1 situation here. You can see Ender just chilling and is ready for Umbreon. Waiting.
I mean, Umbreon's got no info there. He's just got to move. He's got to make the chance that he can. And unfortunately, Ender just there to welcome him with open arms and a bullet in the back of the head, right?
Yeah, and great patience from Ender to just literally wait there, not give away any info. And look, it went 100% in their favor. Like I said, they won the round off the back of that in a 1v1 situation. So
I think Umbra really saved the round for them, getting that one kill. He was caught looking the complete opposite way, and flicked and got a kill immediately, right?
Exactly. I mean, this one has been... Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Pause. What in the world is going on here? This is such a fast hit, and the spray comes through the smoke. Everyone is vulnerable right now. Glare literally sitting at 1 HP. Ender's got 3 now, and... like literally less than 10 seconds into the round, it was already over. Ender, the defender of the B site here. I mean,
I see what you did there. I like that.
I mean, you know, I'm not a rapper, you know.
No, you're not a rapper, but you are a poet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, poetic. Absolutely poetic. What's really been poetic is the way that NRV Onyx have turned the tide in this half. I mean, I say turn the tide, but they came out with an 8-4. And they've been continuing along that streak so far, and it's been really impressive.
Those first 2 rounds from Pigpen were really fast-paced, really caught them off guard, but looks like Onyx have caught their footing. They know they can just absorb these blows and dish one out right back. But as I say that, Bonky gets dinked through the smoke, blind, and now he's 1 HP and forced to back up super far. Umbra falls in heaven as well too, and now all of a sudden Pigpen have the advantage. Umbreon catching Ender again as well too. What is happening?
They're so damn fast, Captain. They are so quick on the take. And that's honestly just, they wanted to go back to their roots, I guess. That's what they needed. And the timing! Umbreon finds 4! Oh my
goodness. I was just about to say, they're so fast that they forgot the bomb in their spawn. And it looks like we might have to have a tech pause here as one of the players has disconnected. But Zach is potentially back. maybe.
Maybe, potentially?
Yeah,
Who knows?
we're good, it looks like. Looks like we're good. Zach did DC mid round last round, but it didn't matter because Umbreon just got 4 in their spawn. Totally fine, walked up, caught Ender not looking pants down, and all of a sudden the round's over, and now it's 7-11.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, look, like I said, Onyx have been playing this. They know exactly the way they want to play, right? They're so confident in their play style and the game plan going into these maps that it's so impressive. They know that they'll ultimately have success on these default heavy takes. They know that they'll have success defending the site, just given they're confident in virtually everything they've done. And I think it shows just in with the gameplay.
Totally. Absolutely. But now we're seeing a full 5v5 retake here, Nobi. This is not something you see every day. There's going to be a lot of utility. And as I say that, Whitehacker catches Bonky in the retake. Just sat in that corner fully blind. Force stick, another one, and now it's just an awkward situation. 3v5.
Awkward is right. Umbra finds one, and here comes the take now. Zach finding it, and it's a 1v3 situation now, trying to get it done. 7 HP, cannot do it. And I mean, look, they needed that one. I will say that much.
Absolutely. I think if you're Nerve here, I think now's a wonderful time to call a timeout. You stop the momentum, right? You figure out what's happening. Your players are getting caught out now. Like, all of a sudden, we're losing players on a fight or on a retake. We're not retaking together as a team as we've been doing the previous rounds. I think now's a wonderful time to make an adjustment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this would be a wonderful time. It's the sort of situation where you don't want to let things get like too you don't want to let the momentum get too far forward for Pigpen, and I think in order to stop that, it's a decent idea to call that timeout somewhat early. Spam through the smoke, doesn't catch anything at all, but Lyra certainly does. Finds a pick onto Glare. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered for
Look
them.
at Umbra here, Nobi.
No.
Oh no,
Wait,
no.
the timing!
Umbra, turn around!
No way! Please turn around! What is going on? No one saw at each other. Wait, what is happening? No, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh my God.
And somehow this has worked out in Umbra's favor. What in the world? No way! How has this happened? I wish I could have seen a replay. How in the world has that happened? Goblin just walked up and missed. Well, they saw the player. They saw Umbra on the screen, but obviously didn't catch them in their peripheral. And that's a huge blunder.
Oh my God, I think that's just one of those times where maybe Goblin's looking at his radar, maybe he's looking at his scoreboard, maybe he's looking at something to help make a mid-round adjustment, but just not paying attention to his screen, right? To what is right in front of him. He sees Umbra walking out with his knife. Oh my goodness, that's gonna haunt him in the VOD review, Nobi.
100%. And now we find ourselves at match point. Judge in play, gets taken out. The pit is down, but it's ultimately a refrag, and they know exactly where these players on Pigpen are gonna look to hit. One player in hell, finds two. Bonky getting it done, but Goblin's not dead yet, and now they certainly are. Peek out of the smoke, and it is all over. Onyx find themselves up a map on Pigpen's map pick of Split.
Wow, Nobi, that was impressive, and that was so fun to watch. You could see Pigpen, they were starting to finally break through, right? They were starting to finally show the cracks of Onyx, but Onyx showing that they're made of Onyx, right? They are not going to crack that easily, and they can just absorb each hit and dish it right back and essentially win every round they needed to, right when it was necessary.
Right. I mean, they honestly, Pigpen was so explosive in that second half that I genuinely thought that they were going to string together a little bit more rounds than they ultimately did, but it didn't end up happening because Onyx was just so good at like delaying number one and allowing the team to rotate where they needed, and number two, not giving up their lives when it was important, right? Like no one was really taking unnecessary fights on Onyx, and it showed. And it ultimately, I think that was really what allowed them their strategy played into it, allowed them to allowed their mechanics to shine. And I talked about what the win condition was. It was mechanics. That's exactly what it was, right? Their strategy ended up kind of complementing their mechanics.
Yeah, it also helps too when you have two players on Pigpen, both going almost double negative as well too. They just could not
Right.
get any momentum. Glare and Goblin, who we were talking about in the pregame, right, Nobi? Those two players that could be like game switchers, like super big MVPs for Pigpen at the bottom of the leaderboard, unfortunately. And that's rough, but I think if you're Pigpen, you just got to move on, right? Got to go to the next map. It's now you just got to win the next two.
Yeah, 100%. It's all down. Like they've got to pull off this reverse sweep here in order to continue on in that upper bracket. Like we said, there's a lot of momentum and honestly kind of a decent amount of pressure on them, just given the
Yeah.
fact that they've got obviously kind of the highest ranked players here. But my MVP for this match personally was Ender. Huge
Yes.
heroic moments there. That play,
Absolutely.
that one clutch on defense was insane, or attack rather, was insane. I mean, there's absolutely no way they got the play. And keep in mind, Ender was literally sitting at, I believe, like 11 HP or something crazy like that. Literally one shot, found that one tap off, like just swinging out, and spammed through the box in screens and ended up finding the headshot. That was insane. Excellent
Yeah.
intuition on that one play. And honestly, throughout the entire game, just did a really great job of staying disciplined and playing for the team. And
Yeah.
look, it's so impressive.
And Nobi, I think we've got our stats ready, right? So we can
Yeah.
actually see who that match MVP was here. It looks like, yeah, Ender for me, Ender was the person that was he was the win con for almost all those rounds, right? Like you said earlier, those clutches, the positioning, and I want to point out, Nobi, I think Ender is the IGL for Onyx as well too, which just makes it that much better, right? As an IGL to another IGL, there's no better feeling when you're out calling and you're out fragging the other team. Like you just feel invincible, and I'm sure that just carried Ender to win some of those rounds and put himself in that position to make those rounds winnable for his team, whether it's getting two, whether it's clutching up in a 1v3, whether it's using his utility to help support his duelist coming out. It was flawless and it was perfect.
Right. 100%. I mean, that a lot of these players kind of just allowed and despite the fact that Lyra honestly didn't even have that many kills, but
No,
still got great value because of their how effective that the waylay ended up being on the executes. So excellently
absolutely.
played from Lila's perspective, but it's not over. It's certainly not over for Pigpen. There's definitely hope. We can see that Zach had that MVP there. It was 19 and 16, not too bad, and had those three first bloods. But what I really want to highlight that's not on this screen necessarily is White Tiger, who had 7 first bloods. So
Yes,
I
White
mean, they
Tiger.
literally
Oh
had
my
10
gosh.
combined. The two duels had 10 combined. That's insane. And so excellently played on their part in that sense. They got the vast majority of their first picks. They just couldn't capitalize off of it in the rest of the round. And so I feel like realistically, these players are gonna have to kind of, find a way to, you know, continue getting these first bloods, but then, from there, play the round effectively. The mid rounding needs to just be a little bit better coming into this next map.
Exactly, and you see those glimpses, right? Like especially from players on Pigpen like Umbreon, where they were having multi-frag rounds. They were kind of getting their team back into those rounds, getting that momentum up. But unfortunately, I think you're right. The mid rounding just not as strong from Pigpen as was from Onyx. You saw Onyx when Pigpen are throwing those four or five man hits into mid or into the site. You see Onyx adjust, and they're taking space other places in the map. They're taking mid space. They're taking that A space. They're backing up, and they're absorbing the hit so that they allows the rest of the team to take that space and allow for a crunch to come in through late. I don't know how many times we saw a crunch come in from B when Pigpen is going through into heaven there. You see them taking that space into garage, and all of a sudden Pigpen's down 2 players and they have no map control, and they're getting completely spinstered from every side of the map. And
Yeah.
that was just so fantastic. But Nobi, I think we're about ready to head over to a quick little 5 minute break before we get ready for map two, which is going to be Sunset and Nerve's pick. So I'm excited to see if Pigpen can throw a reverse punch here, right? And take it to map three.
All right, 100%. This is pretty much it, right? Like this is their last chance within the context of this series. So let's wait and see what ends up happening. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Quantum series. Looks like that first map was, I mean, that was so entertaining. It was really impressive from Nerve Onyx to be able to come out on top there on Pigpen's pick in such a fashion, right? I mean, I mean, the score was relatively close. I mean, it was 13-8. Um, but honestly, I think from a strategic perspective, it really was not all that close. I feel like throughout the entire match, really, Nerve Onyx just kind of they hung in there. They had the mental fortitude the entire time off the back of Ender's calling, the IGL, and it was impressive. They impressed me 100%. So now we go into Sunset on their map pick, and it's look. I think honestly the cards are in their favor right now, Captain.
Yeah, totally. I think from what we saw last map from Nerve Onyx, their defense was so strong. They were so strong. They were having such good mid rounding, right? And they were doing such a good job at absorbing the hits that Pigpen was throwing, which was those strong 5-mans, right? Those heavy 4-4-3-1s they were doing. And it was really rough for Pigpen because it's like they just kept throwing their head into a wall every single time. So I
Right.
think for Pigpen to really come back and win this map, which is Nerve Onyx's pick, obviously, they need to really adapt to how Onyx is playing their defense, man.
Yeah.
They are struggling to kind of come up with plans in the mid round. It kind of feels like they had that initial plan, right? The initial plan of, hey, let's hit this mid area, let's do a split. And then once that split is squashed and they lose both their duelists, it's kind of like, oh well, I don't really know what to do. We're just going to kind of go and give ones across the map. And I think for Pigpen to be successful, they need to have better mid rounding and more fleshed out ideas and more ideas flowing in general. It kind of felt like a little clueless from the side of Pigpen almost.
I feel like the bulk of what they've relied on throughout a lot of this tournament is their mechanics, right? They've got a lot of shooters, like we mentioned before the match, right? But the thing is, when you're up against a team that can kind of match that, it ultimately comes down to how deep your strat book is, I suppose, right? And in the
Totally.
last map in particular, I think we saw that Pigpen strats just really weren't up to snuff in the sense that it was just sort of it was a little bit simpler, right? They just decided, hey, we're just gonna go really fast on X choke, and we're just gonna take it. But Nerve Onyx were so ready for it every single time, and they didn't really do anything to adapt to it. And I think that's really the important thing that I want to see coming into this
Mhm.
next map here of Sunset. So
Yeah,
you're
and
just
I think
about, yeah.
yeah, Nobi, we're ready for agent select, right? We're about getting ready there for Sunset now. Nobi, what are some comps that you're maybe looking forward to seeing here? You think we're going to see another Waylay again?
I would absolutely love it, but I'm a big fan of Neon here. I
Yes,
mean,
me
I'm a
too,
little bit biased.
Nobi.
That's my main, so I'm
Oh, I got a
definitely
neon main
biased here.
here.
Oh,
Whoa, okay,
wow! Well, I
okay.
guess they listened to me today because we've got neons on both teams.
They're
Very
doing it for
very
you, man.
interesting.
They're doing it for you.
Exactly. Appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. Hats
And
off to you.
another veto, Nobi. I just don't think veto's that strong on Sunset. I think it's Cypher, maybe even a Vice. I know that Vice has been nerfed a little bit, but you need that map control on a map like Sunset with how many corridors and how many little lanes there are to control that space, right? So you can definitely take those fights elsewhere a lot safer and not have to worry about alert coming up their mid that we do see a lot from the attacking side on Sunset. You'll see lots of lurks in the market, lots of lurks in the top mid as well too to punish. And if those don't work out, then all of a sudden you got those B splits or those really weird A splits through top mid that really punish the defense and just slice them in half. I'm excited to see how both teams approach this map. Obviously, this is Onyx's map pick, and they're going to be starting on the attack. So I wonder, are we going to see more of those slow default plays again? Or are we going to kind of see some more fast pace because of the neon here? What do you think here?
I mean, honestly, I'm a fan of Pigpen's pick way more so than last map because now they're playing the double initiator, right? They've got
Mm-hmm.
more than breach. They have good info. So we
Yes.
see Zach on that Sova, and I think that's gonna help Neon a lot here with info. And then at the same time, you have Glare with the ability to stun and flash and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of this, and we're seeing that right off the bat over in mid here as we get into our first round. And of course, Onyx hear that and they get the information. They're just gonna egg Zach right over onto B. Bonky finding an early pick here. The top of the spike is gonna come out. delayed just a little bit, but they're
Look at the call
ultimately
here.
going to get it.
This call here is huge. It looks like they're going to fight towards backside here, maybe Boba, and really pressure more of Pigpen. Flash is going to come out, but not going to catch anybody, as now Umbra and Lyra just left in a really awkward spot, and now Umbra is just kind of left by himself.
Yeah, these players not quite giving away their lives, trying their best not to do so here. Yuto coming out, there's a cross, ready. One found from Zach, but the second one is not there. Bonky with the refrag to give Onyx their pistol round. They're picking up right where they left off.
Yeah, man, and Bonky and Umbra, once again, those two players are so good at really picking off those retakes, right? And catching players on really, really weird timings and really weird angles. And I think that Sunset is a phenomenal map for those players, those little rat players that you have, right? But also, KO on this map is not something that you see quite often, Nobi. KO is super strong now because of the recent nerfs to all the rest of the initiators. So now I think KO is going to be super helpful, especially like we see here, taking that early B space, right? That knife just cuts it off in general.
Absolutely, and of course now all of a sudden, yeah, this exec is just coming in real fast. They know that they have better guns, and they're just gonna run it the hell down. Lyra finding one onto Umbreon. Goblin though, trying to get something here, and almost does off the back of the stun, but it doesn't quite work out. So now 5v2 situation, trying to get something. Zach with one, but it's just a consolation as Lyra finds 4 and is just farming those orbs up.
Yeah, beautiful round. And that was really well played from Onyx. Obviously, that's their bonus round, right? They have the better guns, but the most important thing is they didn't lose as many players. They lost 1, and now their eco is going to look wonderful for this 4th round after this. If they could even get some damage done to Pigpen here in this round, Pigpen's economy is not looking good. 2 players are zeroed out entirely, Glare and Goblin. And those are 2 of your support players. They're going to have to keep buying their utility, which is super expensive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing that I do want to mention about Onyx that we've tended to see just in these past 2 rounds, they're playing very reactive, and they're playing a lot faster than we saw on their attack side last map. So that's very interesting, right? And by reactive, I mean, look at this, right? So they spot out these players, they get the info, and they're just gonna wait, use util, and try to get things going. They entry onto the site. Zach finds 2, trade is instant, and now a 3v2 situation. Zach looking for the kills here, and it goes through. 3 on the round.
No. That TP was bold from Ender, I will say. I think he was trying to double up with his teammate, but that is just not something you do when you don't have control of backside, I think, Nobi. You know that there's somebody there, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, that could have been flipped for sure, but really well absorbed from Pigpen. They played that so well. Zach sitting backside, and Zach swapping from the duelist, right? He was on the Raze last map, now going to Sova. A little bit of a flex player coming in hot for Pigpen.
Yeah, I mean, these players, once again, on Onyx, right? They're, given the fact that they're playing reactive, I think one of the cons of that play style is if you misread anything at all, there's just so little room for error, because you've already committed to something, right? And totally. So it's kind of the danger, but now they look to just aggress mid here just a little bit, take some of that mid space, but now they're actually, I say that, and all of a sudden they start to play a little bit more defaulty. We see these players like spread across the whole map here trying to get info.
Yeah.
And this
you see that Onyx playstyle coming through. They love to poke and prod, right? Taking after Fnatic a little bit, where they just kind of work the map to kind of see where the holes are, do some damage, get some util traded out, and now they gather for that final hit now, as all 4 of them gather into A main. Gonna take contact with the Glare, and he goes in a flash. White Tiger here to absorb, but he does not get the connection. Zach able to get the pick.
No.
Zach gets 3 now, Nobi.
I mean, what in the world? Zach has been on fire these past 2 rounds, and all of a sudden, first gun round goes in the favor of Pigpen. They tie up the score at 2 and look to continue that momentum going forward. And Onyx now finding themselves at Nico round.
Yeah, and look at how good Zach is doing. 8-2 to start his team off. The next player is Umbreon going 3-3, and the rest of his team has 2 kills combined. Zach is taking matter into his own hands today, and he wants a map 3, Nobi. You can see it.
Yeah, I mean, this is this is honestly really impressive. Zach obviously got a decent amount of kills on the previous round, on was it round 3, And so that was part of it, right? But of course, round 4, when it was equal footing, that's what's more impressive, way more impressive. So of course, we'll look to continue to do that. Umbreon sitting on 10s here. Oh no, no way! Hunter's Fury comes out, and oh no, it all falls apart for Onyx. And Bonky somehow. Okay, well, my stinger certainly does not do that, Captain. I can assure you of that.
No, my stinger makes me look like a fool, Nobi. That's what my stinger does.
Insane. And now they just find themselves the last player standing. And yes, they do have a rifle, but there's still a lot of work left to do if they want any hope of getting back into this round. And this is excellent positioning here from Zach.
Yeah, look, Bonky's just gonna slip right past him, and look, wait,
no way.
He is behind 2 players who are not even expecting him, but he does choose
30
a
seconds
really weird
left.
path that might expose him to the breach after here as well.
Not quite, not quite. One found, looking away.
Yup.
It is not gonna get it.
So close, right? That is a round that is so winnable, but I mean, you're not mad if you're Bonky. You just get your 1 and you go on, right?
100%, yeah. I mean, look, you gotta take it, right? Of course, in that eco round, exactly, right? You got as many off the board as you could. It's good on them to get some of those weapons off, and you know, of course, they got to look ahead here. They're only down by 1. It is still early game. There's plenty of more Valorant left to play.
Totally, but Nerve's eco, their economy does not look as strong as it once did, and now this round is going to be super crucial for them. I think if they win this round, they could definitely get a little boost, but now Lyra is just going to push right in with the Neon ult and get punished by Zach, Nobi.
Yeah. Trying to finger blast, trying to hit the finger blast, but it did not work out quite too well.
Backfired real quick.
Yep. 100%. Trip getting popped over towards mid, so that's info gathered, but also info lost, because there's really, as far as going further into the round, they've got to start to be a little bit more weary of late lurks. So
yeah, and look, Pigpen have rotated all their players off the B site. If Onyx decide to either leave or wait it out, they're gonna start seeing some rotates, just like we're seeing now. Pigpen slowly starting to drift over. That Omen and Breach leaning over towards B, helping to pick up those holes, and now we've got a 4v3 hit maybe on our hands here.
yeah, 100%. And one thing that I've been impressed with Pigpen thus far in this game is info denial. They've done a really great job with that thus far, and I think if we continue to see that, they'll come out in a pretty advantaged situation. And here come the trade. Bonky with 1, trying to spray through backside. Neural Theft getting popped, and the spike will go down, but these players on Onyx don't have a whole lot of health left. And it is so dire right now. Nothing, absolutely nothing that Bonky can do at all. And that was such a good shock dart there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, Zach is feeling it. 12-2 on the Sova now. He is having a wonderful game coming into map 2. Map 1, he was doing pretty well, but map 2, he is the it guy. Remember, no, we were talking about that earlier. Which player on each team is going to be the guy to step up and start fragging out and clutching up for his team? And Zach seems to have taken the mantle for Pigpen this map, no?
Yeah, certainly the case. I mean, you can tell right there, 12-2, absolutely insane stuff on the Sova. And we, of course, go into this next round with Onyx not really being able to buy again, all right? It's not looking too hot, so
really seeing a really dysfunctional buy here, but now just that pressure in the tile is really quick as well too. From Pigpen, a very interesting choice considering the economy of Onyx, no?
Insane. Yeah, you're definitely right about that one. White Tiger finds 2. Lyra does find 1 though, so it's kind of a, and they are down 1 player, but this is certainly still more doable than you'd initially think for Onyx.
Yeah, and I mean, like good play from White Tiger there. I did not account for the fact that White Tiger was him peeking into tiles there, right? Getting those 2 picks and out with his life.
Last player standing.
White Tiger with 4. On for the ace, and there we go.
Oh my god.
Big mistake.
Incredible. White Tiger finds the ace on Onyx's eco there, and it's 5-2. Now things starting to get a little bit you know, a little bit dicey here. You're gonna have to consider popping a timeout maybe, or you know, just doing something to rein it in, you know.
Yeah, and Onyx, they look a little lost, right? And I think it's just because their economy hasn't been the best. They don't really have the weapons or the utility to do the things they want to do. And Pigpen is really choking them out on a lot of these map spaces, right? And these controls.
Absolutely, and that's a good start though. Bonky with one, trying to find more. Knows that there's two players towards B now, and is just gonna go ahead and back off towards A. Two players, one of them being the Sentinel, so they're gonna of course try to hit the site, knowing that no command getting popped, and Umbreon falls, and they've got access to the A site in probably the cleanest manner that we've seen all half.
Yeah, and Lyra, that was a very lucky slide. He slid right into Umbreon's face, but he unable to connect the bullets, unfortunately. Gets away with highway robbery there.
Oh my, the trades are so damn good.
Oh my
And Pigpen looking to get it done. What in the world is going on? It was so, that was a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie to you, but of course,
Yeah.
Onyx, oh my, yeah, they find themselves around, and maybe they didn't need the timeout after all. Maybe maybe they just had to kind of rein things in, say, hey, let's kind of change things up a little bit, try to get those a little bit more early picks. We know that Pigpen like to aggress in these extremities, so they capitalized off that 100%. Bonky just kind of sat there and waited, got the one, and that was a huge pick early, and on top of that got information. So that's the important thing, right? You know, with a lot of aggression, you of course have you know, give a lot of info. I think Pigpen has done a really good job of denying that so far, but of course in that last round, not really the case. An entry onto the site here as well. Stun coming out. Paranoia though is so good. Two players blinded out. Zek with the trade. Goblin is instant with it as well. And now all these players converging onto the site before anything can even happen. 1v3 situation now, and there's nothing that Ender can do to save it. Pigpen with 6.
Out of charges.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and I would like to point out here, Novi, Pigpen's their defense half for this map is infinitely better than their split, right? You see they're absorbing these hits, right? They're absorbing the punches that are being thrown by Onyx, and they're returning them right back, but also at the same time, they're just shutting Onyx down at every fight they get. Onyx unable to really get any fair fights on any attack that they're looking to hit here. That B site, they just keep getting punished by the guy back site. In mid, they're getting punished from top mid and from Bova. They've got to find an answer here, Nobi.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I will say right now that really Pigpen's big problem last map was the fact that they were too aggressive on attack, not enough on defense. It was kind of just a little bit weird, but they've seemed so much better thus far, right? Like they know exactly how much to push up. They know not to overheat. It's just been very clean from them. It's been clinical.
Yeah, and you can see that Pigpen's starting to get a little bit of confidence, right? And they're starting to really put Onyx down in that pedestal that they've put on their head. They're starting to disrespect him, and as I say that, White Tiger should absorb the hit, gets 2!
No way!
The tracking on the Lyra is incredible from White Tiger! Oh my gosh!
Insane stuff! So impressive there, and manages to somehow find that second. Zach with another one, and it all once again comes crumbling down. End of the last one to stand. Doesn't even have the spike. Has the From the Shadows available, but can't really do a whole lot here. Has TPs and stuff like that, but finds one. It is instantly. Yeah, I mean, like, ay.
Wow, Pigpen having a killer defense. Have 7-3 now. They have won this half, Nobi, and that's really impressive. Considering that Sunset is really strong on the attack as well, too, with how much you can take from that mid control. I think that Pigpen are setting themselves up for a successful second half, no?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And keep in mind, this is Onyx's pick. Of course, with that, Pigpen were given the ability to choose the side, so you know, a lot of people consider Sunset to be a little bit more of a defender-sided map, so that could certainly be you know, a factor with this, right? Obviously, NRV didn't get to pick the half. They were on Lyra with 2 great picks, remaining disciplined there, and From the Shadows getting popped by Goblin. They go ahead and head right over into A, try to spam out. Paranoia is out as well. These players able to spot them out. Goblin with a collide. How has this gone in favor of Pigpen? How? Zach, the last one to stand, has got to save it for the team. It's a 1v1. Goblin has been so good. Gonna pop inside the smoke. Zach having to bounce between two angle shots coming out. Gonna give away the position. Tap of the spike. It's gonna spot out the player, and Goblin popping out, finding two with a collat.
Last
And
round in
I
the
mean,
half.
that was they had such a good opportunity. Nerve were they had such a good chance. And
Yeah, little
Goblin
they
just
know
ripped it
that.
away.
Yeah, little they know that Goblin was backside with magnetized bullets to both of those players' heads and backside there, and it just flipped its sides here. And actually, we might have to have a tech pause here as White Tiger has disconnected. Yeah, tech pause really quick from the side of Pigpen here. As one of the players is disconnected, but this is a good time for us to just decompress and process this half. And it'll be what the hell, man?
I have no idea what in the world we just saw, but I will say right now, was certainly impressive. I mean, look, for you to kind of fall like that early, right? They had gotten, I believe, 3 picks early on, Nerve, right? And access to the site, but the use of the Omen ult in CT, like they didn't even TP onto the site, just TP'd into CT.
No,
Hit an excellently timed paranoia, and then managed to get a collat. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, and that's just like, if you're Nerve, that is just the most disheartening thing ever, right? Because you did everything right. Pigpen overextended there in that fight. Aimane gave 3 separate 1v1s to Nerve, right? And then they lose the site. 2v5. All of a sudden, you're down in numbers, and you just have no choice but to maybe go for a couple of picks if you're Goblin, right? Maybe go and see if you can catch a timing, catch somebody playing really weird and punish them. And instead, he gets 2 from the swing back site, and then a 3rd as well, too, to clutch out the round. Like, what in the hell? Yeah, that is just so wonderfully played by Goblin. I do want to point out, like, he definitely saved that round for Pigpen. And it looks like we're getting back into the action here as our player has reconnected.
Yeah, it looks like,
and
yep,
we're looking
100%.
to get started.
Yep, and here we go. So yeah, tech pause over. You're just about ready to get right back into it. And of course, last round of the half. And the stun is so damn good.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like they picked up right where they left off in that round. The momentum carrying right over.
Pigpen, do not give a damn. Look at this.
Oh no.
Oh,
Bunky. What? Okay, well, number one, ambitious cage.
Yeah, that to me that looks like a bit of a fat finger. No, maybe that was an accident.
Yeah, surely, right?
Maybe the nerves are running a little high again. Oh no,
Potentially.
Ender. Out. Thank you.
Here we go. So good pick, but still, like I said, plenty of work left to do. 1v3 situation for Ender. Gonna go ahead and smoke off the choke. Has one more left and is just kind of waiting here, playing patient, looking to catch someone, maybe slipping up a little bit, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, Pigpen are playing really disciplined now. They know they're in numbers. They have the number advantage 3v1 here, and they've got that map control still, right? That veto stuff is still up on B, and if anything comes out, that Omen's gonna be able to hear him, but Ender does dodge the Silva Dart, and that might give Pigpen some false information, maybe. Might force Zach to maybe walk up here into elbow as he keeps jump peeking it.
Oh no.
Stealing sight.
Okay, location given away, and the paranoia comes out. It's gonna be dodged. And a shorty play. It might work out for Zach, but the trade is virtually instant. That will do it for the half. A 9-3 on Onyx's map pick. They find themselves on defense with a whole lot of work left to do if they want any hope of closing this one out in 2.
Yeah, and Pigpen, that defense half was infinitely better. That is what we needed to see from them on Split. On Split, they gave Onyx too much respect. They did not take any fight. They didn't take any aggression anywhere, and it really punished them. And now, on the flip side, on Sunset, they're just taking every damn fight they can get. They're swinging into A main. They're swinging into 4. They don't care. White Tiger's there to get the picks and clean them up. And Zach is there to just recover the rest. Is that going to get through White Tiger's hands? No?
100%. And I think the big thing about that half for Pigpen that kind of resulted in them having so much success was their ability to trade well. And what in the world did I think I just saw like a triple stack. Yeah, a triple stack towards mid. And yeah, at this point, Pigpen are just gonna instantly aggress off the back of that. They lose 2 players, but of course NRV do lose 1. Spike is down and Paranoia is out. No one's looking behind them at all. You've got to keep that perimeter there.
My gosh, Zach just catching a wonderful timing with that Omen blind and the smoke walking into it and just catching all 3 of the NRV players just completely blindsided. And now Bonky's left in a 1v3 and can't do anything as Zach gets the 4K on the round. And Zach is just proving to himself and to us that Pigpen deserve to be in these upper finals. And if Zach has to drag them across the finish line himself, he will do so, Nobi. 19-6. What the hell, man?
I mean, that is just
having a wonderful game, dude.
Exactly. That is amazing. And I think the big thing here that we want to consider too with Pigpen is the fact that they've taken a lot of calculated risk. Like we just last round, that like amazing example here. Like we saw him just peek out of the smoke in back sight. It's not something you would generally do without using some sort of utility, but they took the risk and it worked out for them. Trade coming out here though here. Oh, wait a minute. Molly comes out as well. And Lyra looking to do something here, cannot get it done. And they are, like you said, they're disrespecting them at the moment.
Yeah, Pigpen is just running NRV down. Pigpen, they have the confidence, right? You see it in all their players. Every fight they're taking with confidence. And they're taking those fights like they've been doing this whole tournament, Nobi, where they just don't care if you're there. They are simply better than you, and they are just going to out-aim and out-frag you just because they can, and they will. It's incredible to watch. But on the flip side, NRV, they look like the shell of a team that we just saw map 1. They have every plan they have just goes out the window. Pigpen just counters it every single time with the picks and the frags. It's just disheartening, really. There's not really much else you can do, but learn to really play like Pigpen maybe and start taking those calculated risks, right? Start catching them off guard. Because right now it feels like NRV are just got their back in a corner no matter what they do.
100%, and it speaks to a little bit of a lack of confidence here. Maybe it's because of the momentum that that Pigpen has gained. What is going on here? Flash comes out, they're out of the smoke, and they slide over. Somehow Pigpen have come up on top in all of this.
You gotta be kidding me, Nobi. What is happening?
Kidding me, indeed. What in the
Spike
world?
down
Zach
A.
gets 1 and is pretty much left to defend it here. 5 HP from White Tiger. Tap of the spike. Could see a spam potentially. Not quite. We're just gonna kind of wait.
Got any left? White Tiger is 1 HP, and the shock dart's gonna be way too late to catch that. But Bonky catching Glare there. Now White Tiger in the 1v3, and as he turns around, Bonky catches him. And finally, NRV are on the board.
Yeah.
For this half, and they broke that 6-round losing streak. Finally, 11-4. NRV starting to have some life in them, maybe, Nobi.
Yeah, life is exactly what they need, right? They got that first round. It's a decent start. Of course, you expect them to get that one. That is the bonus. But now it's up to NRV to continue that momentum coming into this first gun round, right? This one is so important. It essentially counts for 2, right? Because whoever wins on this round is realistically, you know, they're going to be facing an enemy team that's on an eco, right? And
totally.
So 100%. I would say this round counts for 2 for both teams.
Absolutely.
Standing ahead.
Early aggression here. Lyra finds 1. Molly coming out, spam as well, and just gonna try to keep it calculated. They got their pick. This is dangerous here. To peek out, and they're aware of the possibility. Umbra finding one player headshot, but Zach!
Oh no.
Stabilizing for Pigpen.
Zach kind of overheating there in elbow, I think. I think once that Umbreon, once that Umbra gets his first pick, I think you just got to give that space up, right? You got to play the numbers advantage. 4v3. I think Zach might have got a little over ambitious, maybe swung a little too late for the fight. And now we're seeing a 3v3 Nobi. And Pigpen has all the time in the world to do whatever the hell they want, right?
100%, and because of the lack of noise, it's actually going to prompt a rotation coming out from Bonky, and I'm not sure how I feel about that too much. We've generally haven't seen a whole lot of rotates on the attack side from Pigpen. And now, of course, the pit is obviously towards A at the moment. One player found, slide is out, and everyone converges, and Nerve find themselves another round, the gun round, the important one. And of course, on the flip side, Pigpen find themselves on another eco.
Yeah, that was some beautiful teamwork from there from Ender and Lyra, using that that paranoia and the slide to the advantage. And Lyra just catches 2 for free. Ender able to clean up the 3rd there, and that's what we want to see, right? You want to see that mid-rounding start to come to life for Nerve. You can see the glimpses are starting to come back. You're starting to see they're starting to maybe piece it together just a little bit, but they've got to stop losing so many players in these early aggressive fights that Pigpen's throwing at them.
I'm out of here.
Seeing. So here we go. White Tiger looking to scale up mid here. There is a trip here, so it's going to give some decent info. Not quite aware of the fact that White Tiger has a shotgun, but you know, I'm sure they'll find out one way or another.
Yeah, they'll learn.
They will learn, maybe the hard way. And it looks like it might actually be the case. Jumps over the trip into the cage, looking for something. Umbreon finds 2. How in the world has this happened? The spike comes down. We see a peek here. Hunter's Fury comes out, and Goblin finds a pick with the Bucky. Umbra looking to get it done. Out of the smoke, another kill found. 10 HP now. And these players have got virtually no health whatsoever. Huge pick from Umbra. And now it's a 1v1. They've got to save it, and gets timinged on the jump down. Zach gets it and pushes Pigpen to match point. Who else other than him?
Yeah, who else other than the star of Pigpen right now? Zach, 25-8, Nobi. If this game goes a few more rounds, he's really on track for a 30 bomb. And I think he might be looking for it here this round. Maybe he's looking for an ace to really solidify, right?
I mean, I don't know. That player's just been so damn impressive. Pretty much came out of nowhere compared to the last map, and you know what? I'm a huge fan of it. I'm a huge fan. 25-8.
Love to see it, man.
Yeah, that is nothing to scoff at right there.
Oh, not in the slightest. But now, look,
right here.
See Pigpen, and they're gonna take a page out of Onyx's book. They're gonna slow it the hell down. And now Onyx, you see, is starting to look a little uneasy. They don't know where this fight's gonna come at. That always comes every single round. And now they finally get the info that that 5-stack is maybe towards B, as all the stomping is gonna really prompt that over with the drone as well. But look, Onyx are wise. They're not rotating. They're staying firm here, Nobi.
Yeah, it's a smart decision, 100%. TP onto A, comes out, and it's gonna be stuck. Zach does not know at all, has no damn clue. And 2 picks now for Pigpen. They find access to the A site. Spike is gonna be a little bit late, but they are 100% going to be able to get that down. Now it's down to Nerve to go ahead and retake. This is their last chance. Up shot missed from Goblin, and it is going. Oh my goodness, it is all going haywire, and everyone tumbles, everyone falls. Onyx, oh my goodness, it's such a different game than we saw from them compared to the last one, and that was their map pick. So we go on to map 3, the decider, to find out who pushes up, who pushes forward in the upper bracket.
Yeah, and I mean, what a dominant map from Pigpen. 13-5 is incredible. You will take that every day of the week. That is very clean for not being their map pick. They sure as hell look super comfortable on it, Nobi. I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah, I mean, that is nuts right there. Zach with an absolute masterclass of a performance. 25-8 and 4 on the Sova. Goblin second, right below him. 17, 10, and 12 on Omen. Just incredible here. And yeah, we get over to the stats, and I talked about it last map. The difference between the First Bloods, and once again we see that Pigpen, you know, they had more First Bloods this time. There were 10 combined compared to Onyx is 8. So not a huge difference, but they'd still definitely had more. And this time they were able to capitalize on it much better than they did last map, and it showed.
Yeah, and Pigpen, I would love to give props to Zach, obviously, but the rest of the team, Glare, how many assists did he have that game? Was it close to 20, right, Nobi?
Yeah, it was
That
18 assists.
Yeah,
Nuts.
Glare was setting up every single kill that whole entire game, whether it's a flash, whether it's a stun, whether it's an aftershock or the ult, to really displace and make Onyx uncomfortable. They did not look comfortable at all through any fight they took. That whole entire map, dude, that's impressive to do. That the amount of influence and commanding presence that you have as a breach is so paramount, and it's so impressive when you see a breach player like Glare really start to step up and really start to set his team up for a successful fight every single time. It's
Right.
impressive.
Right. Yeah, it speaks to their coordination, right? And that's something we 100% wanted to see coming into this. I think that was kind of I had said earlier that the win con for Pigpen was a balance of aggression and mid rounding. They fixed both of those things.
Yeah.
And it resulted in a score differential like the one we see here. 13-5 is, you know, like I said, it's nothing to scoff at. So of course, now Onyx in a situation where the pressure all of a sudden is flipped, right? It's on them to go
hmm
ahead, bring things back, make sure that they can kind of stabilize here coming into this third map. It's going to be exciting. I absolutely can't wait. Um, I'm excited. This turned into a much more
Yeah.
competitive match than I kind of thought it would, right?
And I'm so happy because every single map that I've casted beforehand, it's been Pigpen just absolutely dominating every single team they've been playing. And while that is wonderful for them, it is a little boring for me as a caster to try and cast and be like, "Oh man, look at that. White Tiger gets another ace," or whatever the hell it is, right? But I think for map 3, Pigpen has a lot of VOD, a lot of video on Haven, and I hope that Nerve Onyx have done their homework and realized how they play this map, right? They play it so aggressive and they play it so damn well. They're so in sync all the time, every single fight. They're making their opponents look super uncomfortable, and I'm super excited to go see it. But I think, Noe, they're ready to head into a quick little 5-minute break, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to head into a quick little break. Haven coming up next, the decider map to decide who continues on the upper bracket and who gets dropped down to the lowers. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll be back in a little bit.
All right, welcome back to Quantum Series Season 4. We have got quite the showdown today. Pigpen versus NRVX Esports Onyx. We're going into map 3 now, Nobi, as we just saw Pigpen absolutely dominate Onyx on their map pick Sunset, winning 13-5. What a turnaround from map 1. They look like a completely new team, Nobi.
100% shows their resilience, and that's one of the most impressive things that I think comes about when we think about kind of the how this series has progressed. Honestly, Split, like, Pigpen looked like a completely different team, and I think it was because Nerve made them look like a completely different team. But the script was completely flipped in this last map, and that's so impressive. Like, to be able to do that, it shows their resilience, and it shows kind of the fact that they're not as simple of a team that we might have initially made them out to be. Right? That's awesome. So we get into this map of Haven, just about ready to get right into the action, get into Agent Select. Let's see what we've got going on here.
Yeah, and I do want to point out that we have been seeing a lot of breach picks from both teams so far, both maps. And it looks like we're going to see it again as Glare insta-locks it immediately, along with Umbra as well, too. And now we're kind of seeing a little bit of old Haven, I would say. No, this is kind of like an old back in the day type comps here with the KJ here and the breach Sova almost. Definitely unique.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like given the Cypher nerfs, he's probably, and of course KJ got nerfed too, but I don't think nearly as bad as Cypher did.
No.
I honestly, it kind of opens up the Sentinel meta a little bit, right? It gives players more room to think about using other Sentinels, and I think that's actually a pretty good thing, right? That's I'm kind of I'm a fan of that. So let's see how that ends up working out for them.
Yeah, and once again, like those Sentinel changes are definitely super not new, I would say. It's been out for a couple of weeks, but definitely like detrimental to how the meta has been changed before. Before we saw Vice on almost every single map, Vice and Cypher, because Cypher strips were so strong. And now with Cypher strips not immediately like kind of revealing the player that's in them, you have to give it a second. Now it forces the Cyphers to really put them in positions where they are harder to break. They're really awkward. It forces the player to have to move their crosshair, right? But on the flip side, KJ, she's kind of just been the same for the little bit ever since they hard nerfed her way back when. And now she's kind of a little more balanced with the rest of the Sentinels now and a little bit more viable, especially on maps like Haven, where her ultimate, that lockdown just denies so much map space, and the turret and the alarm bot are a lethal combo for especially like a breach here or even a Sova with those shock darts as well. It makes it really hard for the team to kind of play around them and really ignore them. You have to face them and you have to clear them really quickly.
Very, very true. And I'm kind of excited, just given the fact that this is a 3-site map. It's the only one that we've seen all series. Kind of excited to see how Onyx approach the attack here. Especially kind of given what happened in the last map, right? They've got more options, I feel like, on the attack side here. So, but of course, it's up to Pigpen to kind of capitalize off of any mistakes that Onyx make, and I think they were really good at that last map, and they're gonna look to continue to doing that here. But here we go, right into the action. First round pistol.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out is Pigpen is super aggressive on this defense side, especially towards this A space. And look, Jet has already taken that space, and now he's calling the rotates over to C now. They're already going to be able here to help Umbreon on this attack.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and that's a great start. Lyra finds one.
I'm out of here.
And of course, as I say that, they're here to help him. Goblin and Umbreon just fall immediately. Maybe a little bit of a caster curse. Sorry, fellas.
Just a little bit.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, Nobi, I've been spoiled for the last 3 games I've casted. I got to see Haven every single time, which Haven is my favorite map, so
really
for a fun one. Oh yeah, man.
Well, certainly an older map, one of the first maps in the game. So definitely an OG one right there. Zach now finding himself last one standing, spamming through, and looks like we're having a little bit of trouble there. Bonky taking a little while, just going to go smell the roses real quick before going to kill Zach.
Both players just kind of whiffing a little bit there. You can see both these teams making a little nervous. Maybe they know this is map 3. This is the map to win if they want to advance to the upper finals and knock this other team down to the losers bracket and potentially send them on their way home. depending on who they face, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the team that does get knocked down is gonna have inherently more work left to do. They're gonna, be at a disadvantage come grand finals. If they end up getting there, whatever team comes there from lower because of the map fan disadvantage. So there's all sorts of things to consider in that context, right?
Yeah,
I'm
and
outta here.
one thing as well too is Pigpen. Obviously, this round is an eke round, but I do want to point out that we do want to look and see how aggressive they take that A space or that mid space. That's something that we've seen very constantly and very consistently from their Haven gameplay that I've seen at least.
Revealing area.
And as I say that, they got a 3-man flank here.
What in the world was that?
One enemy
Wait a
remaining.
minute.
It
Wait.
doesn't even matter. Nobody's
There's
there to
no
just absorb it, man.
We did
What in the
It
world?
just
The
applied.
3-man
know
flank
you'd
just
be proud.
absolutely dismantled by Zach there off the back of the scan with the recon. No one ended up breaking it, and so it scanned 2 players. So despite the paranoia, he just instantly fell. Oh,
Yeah,
that was
you
insane.
You can see them as clear as day, man. You don't need no eyes. He's got the Silva dart.
Exactly. That is
Oh,
absolutely
man.
wild. And so, yeah, well, good start for Onyx here, grabbing the pistol and the anti-eco here, showing their own resilience.
Yeah, really strong. Neither player on Onyx has died so
Standing
far yet,
ahead.
which is pretty good for the first 2 rounds, I would say.
And definitely the case here. And now we see more slow play, right? Like, of course, these players on Pigpen are just gonna try to. I think at this point, Onyx are sort of aware that Pigpen like to aggress, take space in at least one choke, and trying to kind of just go from there. Shots coming out there, and then, oh my goodness,
What
it
a
all
lethal
converge onto the
crossfire.
players in shore. Yeah, that is lethal. And now the players have pretty much all rotated.
Yeah, now Onyx is just kind of sitting here. Like they usually do. They lose 2 players. They're just going to sit here for just a little bit and see if they can prompt some rotates over. But the good thing for Pigpen, that KJ turret is still up. The only hole they have left is in garage. But with KJ watching it, it's making it a lot easier for them to just sit here a little longer. But as I say that, Onyx will slowly begin to rotate as Bonky's looking to find as he gets spotted by Glare. Oh no, this is going to turn out really poorly for him.
No
The Glare
way.
shoots too early, but is able to connect on the Bonky. Catching that lurk in mid, and now all of a sudden, Zek and Ender left in
30
1
seconds
or
left.
2v5. Trying to pick up the pieces here.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, and it's so rough here. Spam coming out. Zek with 1. Trade is instant. And Pigpen find themselves the bonus with not too much trouble here. 4 players still standing.
Yeah, and it's a good thing they didn't get flawless there. That is very impressive. That's a good thing you don't want to happen, right? That's going to help get your economy going a little bit and help stop the enemy team's economy from just steamrolling so quick.
Definitely the case. But I mean, even still, it's only 1 player that they got down, right? I mean, like, 4 players still survived, kept their weapons, and so, the damage was really minimal, honestly. And so
Standing ahead.
now Onyx go into this next round here, the gun round, and look to kind of probably push up a little bit, get a little bit more aggressive on one of these chokes, try to find the pick here. Looks like they're just gonna speed up on C here.
Watch out.
Oh yeah, great stun as
Yeah.
well.
And look, Pigpen, all of Pigpen's here to receive it almost, but Umbra gets one to the pick.
True, but it's gonna matter. It doesn't look like it.
The
Zach,
trades are just flying, Nobi.
the savior of Onyx right now.
Spike planted.
Oh man, now we got a small little retake here. White Tiger on the flank. Zach on a wonderful
No way.
timing. Zach not expecting it at all. Trusting his Cypher a little too much. Now Bonky in a 1v2 here. Forced to
Surely
pop
they've
the
got
cage
to
now.
expect him here. Yeah.
Oh, they
Man,
tried.
White Tiger just punishes him immediately. Bonky falls, and now all of a sudden it's 2-2 for Pigpen. Is Pigpen starting to get some momentum up again,
Oh yeah, and I talked about it last game. That
Gun
gun
here.
round is so important to get. So the fact that Pigpen were able to find it there, that's huge, 100%. Now,
Yeah.
of course, Onyx gonna find themselves having to at least light by here. We see some stingers, we see specters. So I mean, look, it's not the sort of situation that they wanted to be in. Hey, they've got to kind of just reset a little bit and kind of rethink how they want to approach that attack.
Yeah, and actually, we're gonna see they're gonna force into this round. Actually, they're gonna go Phantoms
yeah.
and Vandals in a single Bulldog now.
Oh yeah.
They decided to pull a fast one on us instead, and they're looking just to really put all their money on this round and try and get this fifth round under their name here. But look at how consistently White Tiger is taking this A main space and just allows Pigpen to just sit on this other side of the map and absorb this hit that comes out.
Wait, it's spotted out, but the trade is there. Ender ready and waiting to receive it. So White Tiger falls, arguably one of the stars of Pigpen.
Yeah, but now Zach spots the breach into A main and forced to back up as that breach zone is expended. Now, not going to see that until almost the end of the round, Nobi. That's going to be a little rough for the take here, but it looks like Onyx have a beautiful read here as they force 2 rotates over to A. And now they can just sort of creep up into mid here, maybe.
100%. They honestly knew that these players on Pigpen were sort of going to expect some A presence or at least a rotate to come over, so they backed off. But of course, on the flip side, Pigpen aware of the fact that, hey, like, we don't want to over rotate. Let's kind of bring one back. These players are prone to leaving, so they keep one player there, but you know, not everyone's home at the moment.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, and look at this. They're gonna push
Wait a
in this
minute.
A space here as well too, or
No
maybe
way.
not. They're looking a little discombobulated here, maybe, Nobi. They don't know what to do. They can't commit to a plan here,
Spike
maybe.
planted.
Now
Yeah.
Lyra's gonna be caught out in the open there.
Well, the delay on the plan ends up punishing them really, really heavily, and Zach finds that kill back
Oh
sight.
my
Honestly,
gosh.
the delay with the plant, Captain pretty much allowed these players to kind of just go wherever they wanted. Umbreon literally went through Garage for free because they knew they were committing B, but the spike hadn't come down yet.
Yeah, and you can see the lack of almost like a commitment to a plan there from Onyx really sold them that round. If they had kept pushing that A, they would have most likely caught that pick onto Zach over there, and that would have just been
Go, go,
A
go.
side wide open in the free B plant. But the stall from Pigpen able to just disrupt Onyx's plan just enough to allow Umbreon to walk through the garage for free and just go for a quick little flank and punish them immediately.
Placing swamp grenade.
That is perfect
Placing
Valorant there and
swamp grenade.
perfect defensive setups in the IGL there.
100%, and Pigpen had done a great job as far as kind of stopping these Onyx players from getting too far in. And I say that as Umbreon goes and gets 2 on the entry. Goblin does the exact same, and there's only one left to stand. It's going to be Bonky, who's alone right now in Garage. Absolutely nothing left to do, and it's 4-2. That was such a quick round.
Yeah, and I thought we were gonna have another Goblin moment like we had on map 1 where he walked right past Umbra in mid there
Oh my
as he
goodness.
TP's right past, just barely able to catch him though, as he catches Bonky as he turns around. Thank God. But yeah, now he's 4-2 for the defense side here, Nobi, and that's really impressive considering how attack side of this map is. That is very strong, and they're setting themselves up for a wonderful half here.
Oh my!
Spike down.
All right,
Oh
all right.
my
See,
God.
now we're just being disrespectful. Now we're just
see-
being disrespectful.
Nobi, I think it's fair to blame that on Brock now. I think
Yeah, I was literally just about to say that. NRG Brock on switching teams here. Roster Mania
God.
certainly getting the better of him here. It's crazy. The Valorant World Champion deciding to switch over to a team called Pigpen. Interesting scenes that we're seeing here. But you know, you never know what can happen in Valorant.
Yeah, NRG must not have been paying enough, you know? Pigpen's got the
you know, hey,
funds.
it's rough these days, you know.
Yeah, but now look, Nerve is starting to slowly get
all
Vincent
right.
in here, as now they
Dangerous.
are just getting, they have to pick
One
the pace
down.
here.
Two?
Down A.
Finds Lyra. That's insane. Ender gets 2 as well in kind. But look at this flank right now from Umbreon. Ender is not aware in the slightest. And the Rolling Thunder gets popped. And from the shadows getting popped as well. That's so smart.
Planted.
Molly's gonna go out, but honestly doesn't really do too much damage at all. And now these players looking to do something. Wait, Ender getting spotted out.
No.
No way. Ender's completely unaware. And
Oh,
Umbreon
man.
flanks over into Garage, and that's so unfortunate. The timing there was just, it did not line up at all.
No, that is so rough. And there was a chance for Ender to win that there. If he was able to sneak into window just in time for Umbreon to miss him, he had 2 separate 1v1s that Pigpen were going to give up there. But unfortunately, he just gets caught out barely. He gets punished from behind. And now, 5-2 for Pigpen. As Pigpen is playing really well in this defense, this KJ setup, I will say, is so strong and so effective. This KJ turret there on B is such a pain to break if you're on the attack side. It draws your crosshair so far up to the left and leaves you exposed to literally everywhere else in the site that it's just impossible to break almost.
Very, very true. I will say right now, I don't know what conversation happened in between map 1 and map 2, but it seems to have worked out real well. Zach somehow defending his teammate who got stunned. We're seeing more Odin spam here. It's going to force Onyx to leave. But look at this information being gathered here from Umbreon, literally just sitting and attacker spawn. No one knows.
And look at the positioning. He's just going to be patient here, and he's going to wait for them to walk back into his crosshair as he knows they're not going to expect him. Catches one on the Ender. Catches 2 on the Bulky. The third on the Umbra. Oh my gosh. Now Zek left in a 1v4 Nobi.
That right there is exactly the difference between a good lurker and just a mediocre lurker, right? Like, understanding what to do in certain situations. Most players would have gone ahead and peeked and maybe gotten one and got instantly traded, but the intuition to just literally sit in attacker spawn knowing that the enemy team has no idea where you are,
yeah,
and to go ahead and peek, that's insane.
Oh my goodness, that is, like you're saying, Umbreon, the perfect lurk there. You, as a Sentinel main or as a Sentinel player, you have to know how to take that space and how to use it to your advantage, right? He's given all that space, and he knows there's most likely going to be a Cypher trip there. Why would I push that? Why would I hold that face checking? They're going to be expecting that. But if I'm sitting in their spawn and I'm holding the off angle as they walk in the window, obviously I'm good for 1, maybe 2, as the guy behind him goes to get the retrade. And it's exactly what happens. And he gets a 3rd. Getting 3 there, Nobi, is diabolical. That is
Absolutely.
That is just, as if you're Nerve, that is unacceptable. You cannot let him get 3 on you in your own spawn. And I'm sure that's exactly what they're talking about here. Nerve have to make some adjustments. They are just getting eaten alive. It looks like they're trying to take a page out of Pigpen's book and try those heavy stacks with the 4-1s, but you can't do that on a map like Haven. You have to have map control, especially where the defense side, they have to peek, they have to take some space somewhere in order to even get any info and get a leverage on the attack side, which Pigpen have been doing flawlessly this whole entire half.
Yeah, I will say right now that you can tell these players are at a higher level simply because they know exactly how to peak in order to isolate fights, even when there's a bunch of people kind of in one place, right? And so it's been really impressive to see that. Hunter's Fury coming out here off the entry. Goblin finds one. Watch behind you, Lyra. You got to be careful there. And these players now just absolutely skirmishing over here on B. And there we go. Rolling Thunder gets popped. Umbra with another one. Zach as well. Cage is there. Odin spam 2. Doesn't even spot out the player. Zach has virtually no health whatsoever.
Last player standing.
And it actually
Spike
almost
down,
works
C.
out for Glare. Finally gets taken out by Umbra, who's the last one to stand. Watching CT. Watching the angle. And there goes the ace. Another round in the bag. And that was
Umbra,
a much needed one.
Umbra just stepping up for his team. He's taking matter into his own hands, Nobi. He's tired of losing. He heard that coach in the timeout yelling at them, telling them they need to lock in and play better, and he took it to heart, man. Getting all 5 there. Are you kidding me? He was 2-6 before that round, and now he's atop of the leaderboard for Nerve.
And I will say right now that, I mean, despite the ace, if it weren't for that, Nerve, they would have lost again. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to say that was some really good mid-round adjustment to take that Z space there. But unfortunately, like, they gave 3 separate 1v1s to that Odin player, and you just cannot do that. That is extremely sloppy, and that's how you lose those advantages there.
Right. I mean, and it's not like you don't have the util to counter that, right? Like, I mean,
No,
you've got
exactly.
the Sova utility, you've got breach stuns,
You got
you've
cages
got a whole
to
lot.
do everything you need to,
I'm out
right?
of here.
Right.
Shocking.
That's huge. Entry onto the site here, though. Energy Brock in backside, getting one. Umbre getting another, though. So the trade is there. Spam comes out and actually gets a third. That is huge from Umbre.
There's no way he gets another one, right?
Rounds. There's absolutely no shot. Entry onto the site.
Last
The
player
TP
standing.
comes out. Ender with another one. Ace potentially stolen here for Umbre. And there we go. Bonky finds the last. And Nerve find themselves with a 4th round. So now all of a sudden, 2 rounds left in the half. And of course, you know, we're now in a situation where the economy, if we see another round loss coming out from Pigpen, they are probably not really going to be able to fully buy up,
No.
come
and
the
you're already-
last round.
Yeah, you're already seeing Umbreon. Oh, never mind. He decided to buy. We're good. I thought he only had a shorty there for a second. I was going to say, that's not looking too good already, Nobi.
100%, but it looks like Onyx just kind of start out here towards Raj, at least at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like
And
Onyx
C.
going back to playing that same default style we saw, right? They're slowing it down a little bit and kind of seeing where Pigpen's looking to aggress. But Pigpen doing the same. They're just respecting Onyx, and they're letting Onyx walk into those trap plays that they have set up across the map everywhere. Look at Umbreon getting curious. Just barely misses the timing, though, as they both walk out of garage. And he gets the info that they're leaving, and now we're going to start maybe seeing some rotates over towards A. As Zach here to receive them.
Yeah, they see and hear the utility, looking to take an early fight. Isn't really going to get much off of it. Shock Dart coming out, and these players are going to all start rotating, at least at the moment. But it's all a fake. It's all a ruse. It's an excellently played one, too.
Oh, but look, Pigpen's already ready to receive it.
It's true, but that's still a smart fake. It's only one player. There's 2 now, but they've got access to the site. And the
There we
garage
go.
player's dead. There goes the Sentinel.
Oh, no.
NRG Brock finding 1. Will not get the second.
One enemy
And Bonky
remaining.
as well on the lurk, finding the last. And there we go. Looks like that timeout certainly
round
worked out
before
in
the
their
switch.
favor. They find 3 in a row. Onyx on a roll right now.
Onyx have some life in them finally. They're starting to get some ideas flowing, and they're starting to finally execute what they want to do properly. And I do want to say, Pigpen was there to receive that C hit. They had the read, but that breach ult just gave them the freest 1v4 of their life on the site, and they had the site for free. That was beautifully used by Umbra, and now, final round, we've got the Sova and the Omen ult on Onyx here, and Pigpen's got almost a full stack of ults here.
Oh yeah. And this is gonna be interesting. This last round here, stun comes out. Zach is just fully stunned up. Blade Storm comes out from White Tiger, looking to get something, and at this point, they've 100% heard Onyx leave, and they're just gonna join up over here with Bonky. And the Shadow's getting popped as well. It's gonna be stuck. The lockdown coming out. Umbreon finding it. Lyra with the trade instantly. The lockdown is destroyed. The spike is coming right on down. Aftershock at the ready. It's gonna delay just a little bit. The counter Aftershock as well is there. And what a shot! Oh my goodness! All these players converging! They don't care at all. So much pure aggression that we're seeing now from Onyx. Such a different look. I mean, we've seen a lot of the time in these post plants, Onyx have just decided to, play back, play defense. Nah, not in these past few rounds. We've seen the confidence further up. We've seen them just kind of go ahead and, aggress on these chokes, and it's worked out in their favor, and it's resulted in a 6-6 half, Captain. Somehow we are at 6-6. Literally, they had gotten 6 in a row, and I don't know what happened. It's insane.
Yeah, and you can see that Onyx, they're starting to find their identity, right? They were starting to finally feel themselves. That timeout was detrimental. It stopped all of Pigpen's momentum, And as soon as Onyx got that first board, around the board, they were feeling good. Now it's 6-6. That's a wonderful half to come back from after being down 6-2. And now we're gonna see Pigpen being aggressive like usual, but White Tiger gets stunned and dashes into the corner.
Oh my!
Now the
Here
bomb's
we
down,
go.
Nobi.
This one's a little bit. Oh no! Oh, okay.
Oh,
One
no.
fault. What? Goblin gets another kill.
Are you
And
kidding
now
me,
all of a
Nobi?
sudden we're at a 2v3 situation. They've got to play their life here. They have the spike in hand. They've got it at the ready. They've also got a cross, but look at where these players are headed towards. They're looking to pinch the players that they know are on the B site. So the smoke comes out. And this A player has got to play it patiently, has to time it with the rest of the team. I don't think that Onyx are aware of this. I don't think they are at all. Lyra gets one though. Trade is there. One more player to stand, and they cannot get it done. Umbreon finds the pick. And the Pigpen find the pistol.
What a beautiful recovery from Pigpen that round, though. They were down really quick, losing White Tiger with the bomb on site there. That is a big no-no. That is something you just don't do. You don't like lose the bomb on site and then continue to run into utility. And Pigpen played it so well. They baited all the utility out. They played it so well. They caught those timings, got those lurks, and it worked so well. Onyx just kind of left isolated there again, just on the B side with the bomb. I think they could maybe focus a little bit too much on the bomb there, don't you think, Nobi?
Yeah, that's certainly the case. I mean, look, that was their big advantage. When being put in that situation, I think that's 100% true. But you've got to consider,
Yeah. Once the round falls silent, you got to do something, right? You got to start getting proactive.
Exactly, and so things not looking too good here. Spike is down though. And now these players are just gonna kind of sit and wait. Of course, you know, I think the best play of all here, and I think this is what they're trying to do, is just to sit and die to the spike.
Yeah, and not give up any ult orbs, right? Because
Right.
Pigpen, Zach already 4 out of 8, Goblin 3 out of 7. Those are, especially Zach, that ultimate, that Silva ultimate is so powerful and so detrimental to a bomb plant, to a hit, and it can just cause a lot of chaos. And so playing this very smart from Nerve, just don't give any kills, don't give any ult orbs, just die to the bomb and die as a unit, you know? Holding hands
100%.
in a circle.
Yeah, and they do just that. I think, honestly, that was a great outcome. Obviously it's a great outcome for Pigpen, but for Onyx, they minimized the damage, right? They didn't lose any players. All they really lost was, the round. Of course, that's important, but they didn't give any ult orbs away, and so it sets them up quite well going forward. And I think that's really what they're considering, right? They're playing it for the end game. They're only down by 2. They can 100% bring this back, and I think they know that.
Totally. And now it looks like Pigpen once again just gonna straight up aggress on the backside.
What is going on?
He's just unable to receive that, but Ender gets the refrag through the smoke, and now it's a 4v4, Nobi.
Yeah, what a great trade. And that spike does come down, but we're looking at a little bit of a different situation here. We expect Nerve to come out on top in this round, just given that it's their bonus. I mean, honestly, it's even right now, it's a good round, at least at the moment for Pigpen, just by getting the spike down in the first place. Paranoid comes out here too and jump down into Garage. Gonna force these players back just a little bit, but they're trying to play close as best as possible. Ender with the trade once again, and Goblin looking to take that late play over into... No way! Wait, the Garage play! It's too good! And somehow Pigpen have claimed the bonus! It has all gone wrong for Nerve.
You gotta be kidding me. How do Pigpen pull that off? They played that so perfectly. They left those players on site. Leave them to themselves. Let them get their kills and get their ones, and then that's it. That's all you need. As long as Glare gets his one, it's all you need. Right now it's a 3v3, and you've got a wrap coming from Goblin. It's just so perfectly played, and it's just Nerve really needs to get better at letting Pigpen take the site. They keep losing 1 or 2 consistently on these site hits, And I think that's is what's so detrimental to them and their inability to retake as cleanly, right?
Right. Uh-oh. Yep, that's not the start they wanted at all. White Tiger finds one. Ender once again with the trades. He's absolutely insane on that. But I mean, there's literally nothing left at this point for
Spike
Onyx to do in
planted.
this round. They've got no guns. They've really got no way to kind of properly defend the site. And once again, it looks like the momentum is just 100% in Pigpen's favor. They find themselves at double digits, getting ever closer to a series win here.
Yeah, just 3 rounds away from sending Nerve Onyx down into that lower bracket and facing elimination potentially in their next matchup here. But I think if you're Nerve here, you have got to stop giving so many of these frags on the site and the takes. You just got to start playing for retake, and you know that Pigpen is so aggressive. You know they're going to keep fighting for those extremities in garage or to CT, right? You've just got to start playing their game and stop trying to force your own game onto their gameplay, because this is clearly not working in their week.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I think really Nerve have got to come up with something different. Thus far in the series, they've been excellent at adaptation and kind of just changing things up and forcing Pigpen to do something. That's a great pick from Lyra. But I mean, it's certainly different story here, at least with this game. And oh, it's so
Spike down
unfortunate.
A.
Umbra finds another. Bonky finds another. And it's a little bit of a different look here. Only one player left now, and it's gonna be Goblin. And one found, second one will not.
They almost lined up there,
selected,
Nobi.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
A little bit scary.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see right out of Nerve. We have got to see them start to take some more aggression on other parts of the map. You know how Pigpen plays. You've played them for 2 maps now, and you know that they're just going to throw 4 or 5 at the site they're wanting to hit, which means you have the whole rest of the map to punish them, catch them out, just like Lyra did there, catching Glare on the rotate and making that round a lot more winnable and a lot easier for them to absorb as he got the input there rotating over towards A, right? We've got to keep doing that, and I think we're going to see that again from Nerve.
100%. And now, given that round, of course, Nerve, they're certainly like not out of the game entirely, right? Like, it's a 3-round deficit. This can certainly turn around. And so, you know, they've got to keep that headspace, right? That
Spike
mindset.
planted.
And, you know, as we get into the post plant here, of course, this is kind of where things have historically gone wrong for Nerve. They've got to keep this coordinated. Ender with a good start there. It's now a 4v4 situation. Most of the players, pretty much all the players on Pigpen, back off towards main. No smoke at the moment. The Hunter's Fury gets a tag onto someone. Player pushing up. Umbra with one. Second one not there. Glare finding the kill with the Odin. And the defuse is just too damn good. And they've got it. They find another round. That's only a 2-round deficit now.
There we go, Nobi. That's what I was talking about. You need to play the retake against Pigpen here. It did get a little sloppy there when Lyra gave up that first pick in the garage, but I would love to see Nerve Onyx just layering their util more on these retakes, right? We saw that Omen blind come out, and immediately after we saw that flood come out of CT, and that works perfectly because that allows your team to get that space on backside and begin the retakes so much faster and make them uncomfortable.
I have this fight.
Absolutely. And now Ender, once again, we saw a little bit of a brawl there, potentially, or kind of potential for a brawl over towards me. You see these players are kind of all bolstered up towards that side of the map. I would have loved to see that. It would have been so entertaining, but you know, when do I ever get what I want?
Smoke, by the way, you know, yeah. As we're talking about it, Lyra just gets a 1-tap through the smoke, and now it's a 5v3, dude. 5v2. Okay, I stand corrected.
Very true. Here we go. 2v5 situation now, and Nerve has honestly kept their mental fortitude like a whole lot.
Oh.
Gone.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Yeah, I had no part of this. I had no part in this.
Yeah,
I had no
looking
part of this.
dicey.
There's no caster curse associated whatsoever in
We
this.
retract our statements, and therefore it's not our fault anymore, right, Nobi?
Yep,
Now
absolutely.
it's on the team. Now it's on the
Spike
team, right?
planted.
It's not, our hands are clean, man. We're just calling what we see. Oh my goodness, Pigpen, they always bring these rounds back, and now a 3v2. And they're playing a mean crossfire here.
Oh yeah,
Look
that's
at this
certainly a mean
setup.
crossfire with their one found. No way! Oh.
So close for Pigpen. Zach unable to connect onto the headshot on Bonky. And just like that, Nerve are one run away from tying the series up, Nobi. It's looking a lot better for them, no?
It is certainly looking a lot better for them, and now it's getting to the territory where I think it would probably be fair to suggest a timeout from the side of Pigpen. I mean, we haven't seen one from them, but it would certainly be a not too bad of a decision right now.
Yeah, and also a timeout here would be super helpful considering Nerve, all 5 ultimates are board. And we're gonna if it gets they might just those ultimates and really tipping the round in their favor.
Okay, yeah, Odin spam is absolutely diabolical. Zach is just literally not able to play the game. These players are just gonna back off off of A and just look to play retake here. It's honestly probably the best play.
Yes, thank you. Finally, I think they're starting to listen to me, Nobi. Finally.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, like, you've got to consider A is a notoriously hard site to retake on this map. So,
Totally.
I mean, you know.
But when you have 5 ultimates like this, it's so much easier, right? Especially Zach getting a pick on the glare there. And now that breach ult is gone.
And here we go. Plant comes out.
I'm out of here.
And here come the
Spike
ultimates.
planted.
Here we go.
Oh. Yeah, well, there we go. So Neon ult comes out, just right in there, finds everyone, and it all comes crumbling down for Pigpen. These players, I mean, that wall was very well placed, and the use of the ult was good as well. Great info, and literally the entire team just pretty much converged like onto the site off the back of that. That was excellently played, and now all of a sudden, we find ourselves at 10-10.
10 to 10. I mean, Nerve have just, like you said earlier, their mental fortitude is so impressive. Just able to keep their cool together and just keep chipping away at it round by round. That is what it takes to be a good team. You have to stick together. You have to go through all the thick water, and you've just got to rally together and realize that you guys got this still. Just because you're down a couple rounds does not mean the game's over. And now the economy for Pigpen here, if they lose this round, is not looking good. This is a must-win round for the side of Nerve here. And that adjustment to play retake here is going to be so helpful, Nobi. Just look, now they've got a full 5v4 retake because that KJ is looking towards mid. But as I say that,
what is happening right now? What is all this utility? Cypher Trip is there. It gets broken. Blade Storm is there as well. Flash comes out. There's 3 players. There are 3 Nerve players just chilling over at window. Flash comes out and Goblin gets it. And
Goblin with the perfect positioning, Nobi.
God.
The perfect positioning and the perfect amount of patience. He knows that they're most likely not going to be expecting or looking for him down there, considering how many of his teammates fought in Garage and how many of them died as well too. And he just let himself off with 2 free easy kills, man. Those are the easiest kills of this whole series for him.
100%. And we get into the kind of last rounds of regulation here, and things are looking, I don't even know. This is truly anyone's game at this point.
It really is, and it really just comes down to heroics, I think, here. Which player can heroic their team around and across the finish line? And White Tiger gets the first pick on the Umbra, but Bonky sent to the smoke and gets a pick on the Umbra, and that's a 4v4, Nobi.
Uh-oh. Spike is down now.
One enemy
Oh
remaining.
no! And everyone pretty much falls for Onyx. There's only one left to stand. It's just Ender.
White Tiger just secured the round for them, getting those 3 huge picks. He's been quiet all game. And now when his team needs the most, he gets those 3 out of nowhere and puts Ender in an unwinnable position here.
Cover going out.
3v1, the most you can get out of this is a Sova ult potentially, but let's get the pick on the Glare. That's a good consolation prize, maybe.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, like, not too much though. Of course, it's getting
No.
to the point where these players are like every round, every individual play, every kill, every strategy counts, right? It is now match point. Pigpen had, they've lost a bunch of rounds. They now have kind of stabilized a little bit again. They're on the precipice of winning the series, and I mean, this is it, right? There's literally, it is do or die at the moment for Onyx, despite their effort.
Yeah, and their economy is not looking good, Nobi. They have got light armor, regen armor as well too, and 2 stingers. It is do or die here, and they know it. And now Pigpen playing a little differently. I like this approach, sending 3 towards A and leaving 2 in the mid area, which is going to draw a lot of rotates over from NRVX, and Goblin might be going to receive. Yeah, he catches Lyra on the rotate, 4v5, and now all of a sudden Zek is left alone on the C site as Pigpen looked to rally and hit towards C.
Oh my, well, okay, well, there goes the hit. Goblin, okay, I was gonna say, if that was a committal on that Omenal, that would have been interesting. I mean, Zek is kind of in a world of pain right now. Doesn't even get one. Blair is there. These players over towards CT. There's no smoke whatsoever though. Ender looking to get it done, and there's only one left to stand.
And they're just gonna leave Nobi. Ender, the IGL, left in a 1v2 to save the round and the map for his team and help get them to that match points. They can go to overtime potentially. And they're just going to rotate over. They know he's over here, and they know this A side is completely free.
30 seconds left.
And this retake just got even harder, Nobi. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it just all fell apart. They had it like in the palm of their hand, more or less, right? That
Yeah,
spike
it was
is down
so
though.
close. But that lurk from Garage just cut them into pieces, and all of a sudden, they lost every player on the site. And Ender just in a unwinnable 1v2. Glare with the breach ult. It's just a matter of time, Ender. You've got to pick up the pace, man. You know this breach is going to pop up the second this bomb is tapped here.
This one's rough. The time is just taking away, and the rolling thunder. There
Oh my
it
god,
goes.
wait.
But the teammate's stunned. There's no way.
Wait,
Not going to do it. Blair finds the last kill onto Ender. And that is going to do it. Pigpen find themselves on top. The reverse sweep completed. And they find Haven and the series. They continue in the upper bracket. Nerve Onyx get dropped down to the lowers. Absolutely incredible series. So well played from both teams. But Pigpen just, I mean, they really turned it up in those last 2 maps.
Oh my gosh, that was impressive. Pigpen, they looked like the shell of a team that I had been casting and watching this whole entire tournament, map 1. And then map 2 and 3, all of a sudden, they're back to normal. They're totally fine. 13-5 on Sunset, and then rallying back and winning the third map 13-10. That is so impressive, Nobi. They played so well, but I do want to point out here, on our stats for the MVP, Pigpen having 2 players play, 3 players playing absolutely lights out, but I want to shout out Umbreon here. 5 first bloods on the KJ, Nobi. How impressive is that? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. On KJ is just nuts. And White Tiger was 10-18 and still got 4 first bloods. So insane. They've just been great at that the entire series, even on the map that they lost. It's been really impressive. And it's so difficult for these teams, even at a high caliber, at a high skill level and stuff like that, to be able to counter that, right? And
Totally.
it just speaks to how talented these players are. So very well played. You mentioned Umbreon, and kudos to them. But one player I want to shout out personally is Galera. Obviously, has been excellent this entire series. Didn't necessarily get a whole lot in the kills department the first 2 maps, but really stepped up on this one and did a great job. 19 and 14, the match MVP. And the other player that I want to shout out for the rest of the series is White Tiger. I mean, like, absolutely incredible duelist play.
Yeah, that is the perfect duelist. He was taking space the whole night. He might not have the best KD, and that's totally fine because the rest of his team is getting those trades. He's creating that space, and he's making that other team so uncomfortable that they cannot take a fight fairly as the rest of the team comes in and cleans up for him. But on the flip side, Ender, the IGL for Nerve, tried his damnedest to rally his troops and win this series, and he was so close, and he had a phenomenal series. And I just want to give props. You might have lost, buddy, but you played out of your mind, and your calling was wonderful. But it was not enough to defeat Glare and his insane amount of assists this whole night, Nobi. Are you kidding? I think what? That was like 40 or 50 assists in this series alone, right?
Yeah, I mean, the amount, I think honestly both teams have done really really well, like or the util players on both teams have done really well. The initiators did a great job, the
Mm-hmm.
controllers did a great job in particular as well. Like really, like those two classes, the all the folks who are playing those agents did such a great job. And it
Totally.
they had so much value virtually every time, and that's kind of, to a degree, that's kind of what we come to expect from players at this tier of play. But look, you can't take any credit away from them, of course, right? Like it's still very impressive.
Right.
So, huge.
Yeah, and I think that is going to wrap it up as we're going to head into the bracket, I believe, for the rest of playoffs. And also, would love to give one final shout out to our sponsor of the night, esportsclub.gg. Thank you so much for sponsoring this tournament, and thank you guys all so much for watching. As now Pigpen have advanced that upper semifinals, and Nerve Amethyst facing off against their counterpart Nerve Onyx. That's going to be a fun one, Nobi. That is
Oh
going to
yeah,
be really good. I love when two org teams face each other, man, especially in a do or die situation like that.
absolutely right. Do or die is right. Exactly. It's a lower bracket, so whoever loses that match is going home. Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some trouble at the office there,
And
right?
yeah, and the bragging rights too, right? Like whoever wins is gonna be like, we knocked you out, man. Like, shut up, dude. You got nothing on us. But
Exactly.
man, I'm excited to see who Pigpen will face off and to see if anyone can knock off the Kings. Essentially, Pigpen has just been on a tear this tournament. I don't think they've lost a single series at all, and it shows. They are a wonderful team. But Nobi, I think that's it for us. You got anything else for us, man?
Yeah, that's about it. It was an excellent series. It went further. It lived up to the expectation. And when we, after the first map, we were like, hey, whoa, is this going to be closed out in like two? Is this going to be like a wash? But it most certainly was not. It 100% lived up to the expectations that we had set. And it lived up to the expectations that you all had for it too. So it was a pleasure to watch. It was a pleasure to cast. Thank you, Captain. You were amazing. Thank you
Oh, shush.
to
You were
everyone
amazing
who,
too, man.
yeah, thank you to the players. Thank you to the production, and thank you most of all to you watching. We so appreciate you guys tuning in to watch the games. We've got plenty more action coming at you in the coming days. We're approaching the end of the tournament, the last few matches of the playoff bracket. We absolutely can't wait to continue on here. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.